What's up, Ross, man? What's good with you, bro?
What's good? What's good? What's good, man?
Man, it's a lot. I'm glad that we're able to chop it up. It's been a minute. A lot has happened. We've had a great movie, a great epic movie in i.e. Sinners that came out. I mean, we've had uh what else, man? Shannon Sharpe and his whole
Shannon
situation
Sharpe.
and his whole debacle, and how he now got to weed his way out of that. And then we got the Timberwolves and we got the Lakers, and how the Timberwolves embarrassed the Lakers.
Right.
Damn,
I ain't gonna lie.
that's
I saw
crazy,
that
man.
coming.
I want to.
Right now,
You say you saw that coming?
right now,
How'd you see that?
because Luka's very out of shape. LeBron James getting older, and they both play a similar style of basketball. They don't complement each other well. I don't know who thought that was going to be a good tandem, but they don't complement each other well at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one's a fat fuck, and then the other one is
and
old.
LeBron James is the best defensive player on your team is not going anywhere. He's a help defender.
Yeah,
He's not supposed to be a one-on-one guy. If you need him to be a one-on-one guy, a stopper, you ain't gonna win shit.
and what I'm laughing about is how Anthony Edwards trolled LeBron and said, "We beat the best player in the world, and we beat the best player ever. Now go to hell today."
I know I got my head down, but right now I'm just sending links. I'm making a community. I'm making a community post to see if anybody on my platform going to come over to watch the live stream.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just laughing because before we get into the Sinners and we get into Shannon Sharpe, we still gonna talk basketball. I just wanted to say this real quick. Now this proves to everyone why Kobe Bryant needs to stop being disrespected. He needs to be reinserted back into the conversation of the GOAT, and LeBron needs to be taken out because Anthony Edwards can't even tie Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan shoes, and he beats LeBron James in 5 games with that style of play. So Kobe from 8 to 10 against LeBron, we clearly could tell that if they played in the finals, Kobe would have swept this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I have no doubts in my mind it would be a sweep.
They knew that. That's the reason why they didn't let them. That's the reason why they didn't allow it to happen. Think about it, man. LeBron James is either one of two things, because I do believe some of the NBA is rigged. Either they didn't allow it to happen because they knew what it would have been. It would have done irreparable damages to LeBron's career, or LeBron just wasn't good enough. Either way, they knew Kobe was going to win because Kobe, he walked through the teams. He beat the teams that put LeBron out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
I honestly believe the irreplaceable damage, right, that would have happened is LeBron James would have retired before his time, because I don't think he would be mentally able to get over the fact that Kobe Bryant beat him so much and swept him in the final. I don't know how he would be able to get over that hump. You know how some people, they go through some mental shit in their lives and they don't know how to get over those mental fortitudes in their lives. That would have been that.
Yeah,
Kobe would have beat him so bad that LeBron wouldn't have been able to have the career he's had. I just believe that, man.
And that's the reason why I tell people now, everybody's trying to make a comparison to Lamar Jackson and LeBron, saying, yeah, Lamar's the next GOAT because he's like LeBron. Like, no, he's not. When Lamar loses, he don't blame teammates. Lamar Jackson, he got the MVPs early like LeBron did, but Lamar Jackson isn't even about MVPs. Exactly. He's about winning. And if MVPs come with that, he takes them, but he's not about that. And he doesn't throw his people under the bus. But Shannon Sharpe said the Lakers in 5. He was so wrong. And he's been wrong about a lot of shit. He's been wrong about a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to Shannon Sharpe. Unc out here wilding, man, like he's 21.
Tripping, tripping, bro.
He tripping, man. But okay, so interesting you said that. So since you brought up Unc, not only did he make that agree, his situation with the Snow Bunny, man, and how it's affecting his career and how he's moving with the whole situation. Now, what's your take on it?
Well, see, a lot of people like to throw in morality and talk about legal shit. Legally, he has the right to do that. Me personally, at that age, I would not be dealing with no girl that young. Because what does she want with you, really?
Mm-hmm.
She could get a younger man for sex.
Mm-hmm.
She wants resources. That's all she wants from you. So she can't respect you fully as a man. All she wants from you is resources.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you could get caught up in scandals like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Legally, I don't think because he's morally wrong that he should legally be called a rapist. Because legally, he's not a rapist.
Facts.
What he is immature. What he is immature. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's immature. Shannon Sharpe's not supposed to be messing with no young girl that way. That he would be caught in this young girl shit he's going through.
Mm-hmm.
And what he doesn't realize is these black niggas need to get off the plantation, man. In their mind, once they get an X amount of money, that they believe they're equal and have the same rights as what white men have.
Facts.
No, you don't. As long as they're in rulership over the world, you're not going to have the same rights as them. So you can't pull a Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
You have to live on the up and up.
Yep.
Because why you always have people secretly looking into your life, probing, looking for some type of weakness.
Facts.
And when Shannon Sharpe went live, they said, "Bam, we got this man weakness. He's a freak."
Yep.
Okay, who is he having sex with? Because he went live purposely. You can't go live accidentally on IG.
Yep.
There's like 3 different steps to go live. You have to say, do you really want to go live? He did that shit on purpose so people can hear him smashing. Now they found his weakness. Oh, this guy's a freak.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get in his phone records. Let's see who he's having sex with. They found his weakness.
Yep.
And now they're embarrassing him, but he embarrassed himself.
Exactly.
Because if they would have found out he was having these type of sexual pleasures with a 35-year-old woman, it's still gonna look bad because you're doing a race play. But at least you're doing a race play with a woman that's more mature.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though this is it's legally this is good, this looks like predator behavior because you're so much older than her.
Yeah.
You're damn near 60. You know what I mean? Bro, he deserves everything he got coming to him. Everything. Warning comes before destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Cat Williams came in that show and told him, I don't know whether he was inspired by God or Cat Williams know the play because he's working with those people himself. But he came on there and told him they coming for all the deviants. They're coming for everybody that's sexually perverse, everybody that's doing anything behind the scenes that they don't want nobody to know about. He said they coming for all y'all. Shannon Sharpe didn't hear none of that.
Yep.
he got the warning to his face.
He chose not to hear it. He purposefully chose not to hear it. He purposefully chose to just have a great show and have a viral live that he did with Cat Williams. But when it came to him and what he had going on, it glossed over his head. That was pretty sad, man. And then I believe Monique said something to him after Cat Williams. Obviously, she wanted.
Yeah, she said something too.
She wanted him to be with somebody, like around her age or whatever, and he wasn't going to have that.
He don't necessarily got to be with nobody 60. Exactly. He could be with somebody 40, 35.
Yeah, exactly. But she did warn him too, like get you an older woman. You don't need to be dealing with these 26-year-olds, et cetera, et cetera. And I think she even said, don't deal with no 36-year-old. Just deal with a woman that's older. And he didn't heed the warning.
And but an older, not just older in age, older mentality too, because you could have a 35-year-old woman who's a fucking child. Mm-hmm. So it has to be maturity and age.
Fact.
Or a 26-year-old woman that's mature that's not going to have you tangled up in no bullshit like this.
Fact.
But you can look at Shannon Sharpe and tell he leads with his with small head, not his head. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that part of him runs him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that because isn't he a spokesman for? Isn't he a spokesman for roast?
Roast Park.
And on the on the roast park, he's telling you straight up, "Hey man, it gets you right immediately. Within minutes, man, you ready to go for hours." When you see you a spokesperson for something like that, you already know what time it is, man.
That's the thing. And Stephen A. Smith told her himself that he's really what we've been calling him, Uncle Tom. And he's working with the people. He's working with the system. Stephen A. said, "I never get caught up in anything because I'm so in tune with the agencies, with the FBI, everybody. I let them know where I'm going. Since when a black man got the power to let the FBI know where they're going and the second get and to look at the things and how you get those resources."
Yes, because
think about this.
You out there telling the tea, man, on the other side.
Right, you're doing their due diligence for them, so they're gonna extend their services to you. You can't call the FBI be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm traveling to Texas. I'm about to meet this woman. Is she on the up and up?" Blah blah blah. You can't do that. No, can't no regular nigga do that. Yeah, he exposed himself by trying to use Shannon Sharpe's downfall as a way to. Stephen A. is a sneaky, slimy son of a bitch, man. He stepping on this man's head in his downfall. The crazy thing about it, Stephen A. about to be the one who put them on.
Yeah, he probably.
Shannon Sharpe been doing this. Shannon Sharpe just started doing race play and then the bitches call him the N-word during sex and all that. No, he been doing this.
Yeah.
Now he get caught all of a sudden when he come and work with Stephen A. Smith. All of a sudden, everything out in.
He should have stayed over there on Fox side, because on Fox side they conservative and they love the traditional how men can get away with sexualizing women. They that's how they are over there. So it's fair game over there. You could just be whatever. The women have to dress skimpy when they're around the dudes. He should have just stayed his ass over there and be done with it, man.
And you know what? I'm starting to think that little argument between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, that shit was staged. That shit was fake. Yep. They had a good thing going on. That all those rumors came out how freaky deaky niggas was getting, the running trains on Joy Taylor and all that. Left. All that came out, and they got out of there. They broke up.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. He got out of there only for it to find him later on, right? And they found him with a
because warning comes before destruction. God made a way for him to get out of that, and he kept doing it. He was somewhere else and did it. Like, bro, what niggas I understand is this: for men with money like that, they could literally do that, and nobody would never. But they have to hire actual professional women. They're called escorts. No one never know they exist. This and the third. They sign NDAs. Shannon Sharpe want to hit the same bras that the NBA players hit.
Yep.
The football players hit. He want to be on the scene too much to be a 60-year-old man. Yep. But nigga, something got to be done behind closed doors.
Exactly.
If that's your kink, I am judging. I'm judging the fact that your kink is race play. I think you less of a black man for your kink being race play. But at the end of the day, you're not really hurting anybody but yourself. Letting the bride call you all out your name and shit. But you're a professional. That cannot come to light.
Exactly.
They come to light. Yeah, exactly. You had to hire a call girl, a professional call girl, to keep that shit behind closed doors. Not a 19-year-old who has no discretion. She has the OnlyFans. She's 19 years old. She's already doing OnlyFans. Yep. So she has no discretion, bro. That nigga lack common sense.
Yeah, she's ready to put you out there. Ready.
Right. If anything, just for the fame of it. Just for the fame. I did something with Shannon Sharpe to make her an instant celebrity. Bro's not thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was thinking. He was thinking with his dick. like Kevin Gates saying that song. I'm just thinking with my dick. That shit dumb. That's what he was doing. He was thinking dumb.
Dumb as hell. I don't know what the fuck this man was thinking, man.
But you right, man. Now he has to go back and see what Cat Williams said in early 2024, and we're just getting into the upheaval of this because there's a lot of shit going on. I mean, now you have Ja Rule trolling 50 Cent now, which I didn't think that was even possible, that turnaround would even happen like that. So
He was supposed to been doing it. He was supposed to been doing that. When he realized it's 8 years now, this nigga steady talking about me, and I'm not talking about him, he supposed to been got on
yep,
that. You see 50 don't really fuck with Floyd because Floyd fucks with him back.
yep.
Floyd said something back. Floyd be like, listen, I got a good relationship with all my kids. He'll take a picture with all his kids. He's doing it on purpose because 50 Cent don't have a good relationship with his kids. They hate him. Only the little kid loves him.
Yep. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
That hurts. So you see Floyd bossing with his son. Like, yeah, a lot of guys can't do this.
Yep.
A lot of guys can't, they don't have this relationship with their kids, you know what I'm saying? But I'm Floyd Mayweather, man. I got a relationship with all my kids. so Ja Rule supposed to been did this, and Ja Rule has the perfect. He has the perfect win off.
Yeah.
Outside of rapping, Ja Rule actually won. His family's intact. His son just graduated college or on his way to college. His son loves him, calls him every day. You know what I'm saying? Like your son gonna get on live and be like, "You're a deadbeat." And even though his son is convoluted and his baby mama turned his son against him, still war is war.
Yep.
War is war. Anything I can use against you.
Yep. It's the sport of
Ja
war,
Rule's been doing this, man. Ja Rule about 8 years too late. He supposed to been fighting back.
Yep.
That high road shit is not for people like 50 Cent. You have to go lower.
Yeah, you got if he goes low, you got to go lower, man. Because if you play the high road with him, you're gonna be like in a suspense. That's why I'm like looking at the BMF family, and I'm like, they're being too high road while he's being low cutting. They got a low cut too, man. That's how you got to deal with a dude like this. Because this dude, all he's gonna do is be like an overgrown kid. He's just gonna troll. And if he meets his match, I'm gonna tell you who's his perfect match when his head is right, and that's why he ended his career. His perfect match is Kanye. Kanye, to me, when Kanye's head is together, nobody trolls better than Kanye, man.
Right. And Kanye was so hot at the moment that 50 trolling didn't even matter.
It didn't matter.
But they didn't even matter when 50 was trying to come at Kanye. He was like, yeah. What Kanye did? Kanye did one verse, no, one part of a verse to 50. He said, you might think you could, but I don't think you should. Because 50 said that, yeah, if you snatch something out of a white girl hand in front of me, this was 50 be capable for white people on the low. People don't know. If you snatch something out of a white girl hand in front of me, I'll break his jaw. And then that's what Kanye was. He said, you might think you should. You might think you could, but I don't think you should. You know what I'm saying? So people don't realize this. While Kanye is not a murderer, all them niggas around him was. Like GLC, the other guy, them niggas are Southside bona fide niggas. I know this because I'm from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them that was around him. So it would have been good for 50. He would have said what he either did what he thought he was gonna do. It would have been good for him.
Yep.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
because I don't like this Kanye now, but man, I was listening to Graduation, and you know when you got your car thumping, boy, and you listen to that, can't tell me nothing. That shit be woo. That should be knocking, bro.
So you asked me what's happening to Kanye now,
and I'm like, yo, this dude need to drop a Graduation part 2, man. And I want that Kanye back. Like it's about time, man.
Yeah, I did a piece on Threads about Kanye's psyche. If you ask me, the mix of losing his mother and marrying a family of witches. You know what I mean? To be honest, what they get into with witchcraft, I believe it damages his psyche. We got 3 parts of our psyche. You know, people don't understand. People use words. They don't even know what they be saying because they don't look shit up. Now people are like, oh, you're full of ego. Well, everybody in the world has an ego. It's part of your psyche. You
Fact.
got three parts of your psyche. You got the super ego, you got the ID, and you got the ego. The
Yep.
super ego is what protects you. The what it's a part of you that
Mhm.
says maybe I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't. It's your moral compass, right?
Yep.
It's a part of you that's going to protect. The super ego is a part of you that's going to will kill somebody to protect you, but it's a part that's going to deal with that death. You're going to be like stressed out. You might wake up in cold sweats because it's your morality. Your ID part of you is a part of you that
That it.
it's a part of you that wants things done right away. Impulse, you know what I mean? You
Yep.
hear your Facebook go off, you immediately go to check it. It's that part of you. Now I ain't gonna be able to answer this. It's that part of you, right? The ego is what communicates to both of them and makes them work together. All your dreams, all your aspirations come from your ID, but your ID is wild.
So
And all your,
it's interesting
yeah,
you said that because which part of Kanye is he activating? Because right now he's going. I'm not gonna
no,
lie. Low
I'm
key was
telling you,
laughing when he
I'm
made the
trying to get
comment
there.
on Boozy.
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there.
Oh,
So
okay. My
so
bad.
through his psyche being crashed, the ego is no longer doing his job. The ego is no longer doing his job, and the super ego is trapped in him. ID has taken over.
Gotcha.
It's like the hawk. When the hawk transforms and just everything is off impulse, is like that. Kanye is totally
Super ego
Kanye is
strong.
totally ran by his ID right now. That's why he says anything that's gonna make him feel better, it's no filter. It's all ID.
Gotcha.
So he's super creative right now, but there's no super ego. There's nothing controlling his creativity and bridling it. Where now his albums feel like they're all over the place. You know what I'm saying? There's no story in his albums now. It's just all shit that sounds good and feels good, but it don't make a lick of sense no more. That's because ID is fully
Gotcha.
in control. So he has no boundaries right now. He's saying whatever, he's doing whatever. Kanye's psyche has been damaged. So I believe that. I have no proof of that, but I
So
believe
basically, you don't even think. Do you think there's a comeback for him, or you think he's
he
done
got to come.
with with his
He has
psyche
to
down?
really come back to God and not talk about it. He has to really come back
Gotcha.
to God because these things, these psychological injuries you get with dealing with witchcraft and being gaslighted and shit. If you don't understand what's happening to you, it'll break you.
They'll
And
break you.
Christian church don't really, believe it or not. And I love my mother to death. She tried her best, and she was one of the more holier churches that I have been to. But the Christian church does not prepare you to deal with psychological warfare and to deal with witches and real spiritual warfare.
No, they don't. They don't
They
prepare you at
don't
all
teach
for them.
the right scriptures. They don't teach Psalms. They don't teach Elijah. They don't teach all these guys that was dealing with witches all the time. They teach what
Yep.
5 books of Paul, some of the gospel, and they just go back and forth between and cycle through that. That's not eating the whole word. So you're not going to be prepared. Kanye's not. He was not prepared to be in a family full of witches, where he's
Yep.
always gaslight. He's always the
Yep.
bad guy, no matter what. After a while, when you started looking at him, you started to see that Kanye was slowly not becoming something else, dealing with her. Why do you think he broke away? He broke away. This nigga moved to a whole other part of the United States to be away from her. While he was still married. When he was making when he was making Yay, that album Yay Ye whatever, he wasn't even with Kim Kardashian at that point. It was over with. He just didn't tell the world.
Yeah.
Bro, dealing with a
Facts.
woman who's working her witchcraft, whether she realizes what she's doing or not, if you're not prepared,
I believe they knew exactly what they were doing. The reason why I believe that
I
is because
know
of all of the brothers that they were able. Because notice it's all brothers they did that to. All the brothers that they were able to put in binds, like Tristan Thompson, Reggie Bush. You know, and Reggie Bush to me was like the only one that kind of got out, you know, like a little bit above the water, because you could see now he still has a similitude of still himself moving forward. But everybody else,
he didn't have no children with them. He didn't have no children with them. That's why.
That's why. Okay.
Kanye would have been got out if he never got Shorty pregnant. He got kids, and
Mm-hmm.
now he don't want his kids to get exploited. But bro, at some point, he gonna have to make a decision for himself because long as he's dealing with them, he's gonna be going through it, man. If he because if you don't have a faith in God and his faith is in himself, like he's
Exactly.
bought into that. He's bought into that, that mentality. You know what I mean? But your faith has to be in God when you're dealing with people around you who practice witchcraft. Even if you're
Exactly.
not the most perfect person, your faith has to be in the Lord and God. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not
Yep.
there. You can't battle women like that on your own.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
On your own, you can't because they're tapped
Mm.
into a spiritual darkness. You're not tapped into anything because you don't have faith in God. So you're gonna always
Yep.
struggle. Yeah.
You're right, man. I mean, you hit it on the money with that. I just feel like there's really nothing to follow up behind what you just said. Other than the fact that this man excuse me, this man excuse me,
God
you
bless.
always call me free. My bad. Um, this man has notoriously made some of the greatest music, and this is the thing that trips me out with him, right? He has um not even been like active full time as an artist, and just not being active, he's tied in the number
Yeah.
of awards that he has with Jay-Z, not being full time. Could you
Right.
imagine if he was full time? Could you imagine if he was constantly dropping an album every 2 years? This whole thing where they keep saying Drake is the best selling artist, Drake is this, Drake is that. If Kanye West was constantly in that zone that whole time, he would be untouchable, man, as an artist. I'm
Come to
just
find
being
out,
honest.
Drake's whole career was cap. All that shit he was blaming Kendrick Lamar for when they did a little research. He was the
Mm-hmm.
one benefiting from the bots and benefiting from payola. So
Yep.
I don't even compare Drake to Kanye because
Yep.
Kanye shit was legit. Kanye will be
Yep.
his album come out, it'll be hot. And then like any album that's not like a certified blockbuster album, it starts to dwindle. It,
Yep.
Drake shit will come out, it'll be hot, and then while you're not hearing it in the streets no more, you're still seeing all these crazy streaming numbers. Like, bro, who's playing this shit? I'm
Exactly.
outside every day. I'm not hearing it.
No, I'm not.
But they were cooking the numbers. This is the reason why he don't understand. He don't understand what the GNX album is because he never had a certified real hit himself. He don't understand that
Exactly.
albums used to be like this. When an album came out that was cold, it rocked all year long. Sometimes 2-3 years. Bone Thugs,
Mm-hmm.
The Chronic, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, um, 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 fucking damn near all Kanye's first 4 albums. You know what I mean? When they come out, they rock. When they're classes, they rock and they get better. They get better over time. His albums never did that because his albums never was doing that from the beginning. There was streaming numbers that was helping him.
Yep.
Think about it. At Kanye's peak, him and 50 Cent had a war off. People was actually going to buy your shit. When people go to buy your shit, they leave their
Mm-hmm.
house to go get it. That's a different level of support.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's hot. It's very hot. This GNX album, if it would have came out in CDs in the CD era, everybody would have went to the store and got it. That's how hot it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not streaming. It's not the streaming era hot where people just play it in the background. People are actively listening to the GNX album. They're breaking the shit down. That's a different level. That's what we used to do back in the day. We'll listen to the lyrics and break down the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Drake don't have those albums.
Yep.
He don't.
He don't, man.
Drake had
And that's why I'm
vibe. He had a
laughing,
vibe.
because I'm glad you mentioned it, because all his stuff was overinflated by bots, and he's getting mad that somebody actually has great music. Like this song with SZA, Luther,
Right.
that song is an actual great song that it hits. The reason why that song is so viral is because it hits both male and females. Females get their interpretation of the song. Males get their version of the song. Everybody can eat off of that song, man. When you have a song like that where both sexes can eat off of it, you have what's called a classic. That's why it's always number one on the Billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have a classic, that shit is gonna live on the billboard for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months and months. Shit, it might even do a year.
Yeah.
You know, it's just what it is. Like, you can't fault the guy
That's what it is.
for having a collaboration. And it's like every time he does a collaboration with SZA, Kendrick and SZA, it seems like they work very well with each other. So you can't fault the guy for having great classics, you know, and he's been making great music, and he is in the zone right now. And I think he kicked off his world tour. I feel like Kendrick Lamar is one of those guys you do not start a beef with, because he's never gonna unlive it down until he's tired. He started his world tour and he's still on it. Like, he got the foot on the
It's always been like that. It's always been like that. The winner of the beefs always continue to do the songs.
Yep.
Nas still does Ether, and he's cool with Jay-Z.
Yep.
But at concert, if they ask for they say do Ether, he does
He does it.
They be like, this my man now. Hey, brother, he'll do like a little precursor. Then he'll get into it. Fuck Jay-Z, and he'll just do it.
Yep.
Because the winner of the battle always does their songs.
Yep.
KRS-One still does the Bridges Over to this day.
But the thing
that
about
shit happened what?
The thing about the Not Like Us
40 years ago.
The thing about Not Like Us, it's funny you said 40 years ago, but see, here's the thing with Not Like Us. Not Like
right,
Us.
the Bridges Over came out like what? I was like 2 years old when it came out, right? Like in the 80s.
Man, it's
81.
exactly, it's like 81. And he still does it. It's crazy that you said that, because the Not Like Us, we're seeing the greatest diss song ever. And the reason why is because people have done viral TikTok dances off of it. People are doing dance steps off of it. People are doing skits off of it. People in third world countries are getting their content, basically making a lot of money because they're dancing off of it. So this song is so epic. And then once it touched the Super Bowl, it was over at that point, because the Super Bowl is what the Super Bowl is the closest you can get to the Olympics.
Yeah,
it's how big it is. That's how big the NFL is. It's as close as you can get to the Olympics, because the Olympics is what you get the grand world stage of everything. But and you have to be at that level to get that. But NFL,
the Olympics and the World Cup.
Yeah, and the World Cup. But the NFL is so big that it's close to those levels. So when you got 134 million people that viewed in, there was no shocker that a defamation lawsuit and all of this stuff was going to follow after, because of the fact that you knew this guy pretty much ended you. And if you notice, he hasn't recovered. Like this Nokia song, let's be honest, this Nokia song he has going on, if this was pre-diss, this song probably would have been living as #1 on Billboard for a minute.
It's out of there.
But
it's out of there.
Because
but the reason why I can't go #1, because it reminds you of something Kendrick would do.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No. I'm glad you said that. Because once you say something like that, that's when I'm in the. We're so in sync with one another. If you say something, I'm gonna just let it ride because it makes sense. Because when it's all said and done, when you look at how they're moving per se, right? Kendrick has basically jigsawed the puzzle. It's really what he did. He jigsawed the puzzle to where anytime Drake drops something, he can troll off of it. He's like the best troll in today's world now, if I'm being honest, because he jigsawed it in a way to where his trolling doesn't even look like trolling. It just looks like he's making fun of you.
Right, but the great thing about it is he's not a bully with it.
Yep.
The only reason why he coming at Drake is because what Drake represents. I don't even think Kendrick got even personal feelings towards Drake.
Exactly.
Drake just represents everything that's wrong with music right now.
Yep.
He does. And for Kendrick to get people where he needed them to be, to actually think and go back and read books and do research and to actually love intellectually, music used to be an intellectual thing.
Yep.
You have to destroy Drake.
Yep.
Because Drake made it. Drake made hip hop background noise for doing fuck shit.
Yeah, basically he brought it backwards.
Yeah. Right.
It was
You
advanced
used
so
to have to
far
be
that
an
when he
active.
came, he started making it take steps back.
You used to have to be an active participant when you listen to music. You had to be an active participant
Yep.
because you'll miss nuggets, you'll miss jewels. You know what? I feel like Ryan Coogler, and Sinners. I feel like it's like the parallel of what Kendrick is doing musically.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people say, he pushed witchcraft. I don't think he pushed witchcraft.
Mhm.
I think he gave us a perfect he gave us a perfect scenery of how things were back then.
Yeah, I was about
People
to
did
say
go to
he's
church. They did
basically telling you the truth of what
right.
happened.
Well, people did used to do. They still do
Yep.
hoodoo or do voodoo.
Yep.
People, and the church and people did go to church. People did do the juke joints, and the KKK did come and attack people at juke joints. He just gave you how it was.
Exactly.
He's not really pushing one. If you ask me, you only feel like he's pushing you one way or the other if you already have a preconceived thing you're trying to push. So
Yep.
if you're trying to push hoodoo, you're gonna come away with that. If you're trying to push Christianity, you're gonna come away with that. But when you watch the movie, he never shows the hoodoo really protecting anybody.
Yeah.
They all died.
They all died.
It didn't protect no one. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? And he didn't push Christianity. He just saw people in the church. You know what I'm saying? But people like to say, yeah, the prayer didn't work. The prayer did what it was supposed to do. Mind you, the demon was just having his way with everybody,
Yep.
but he couldn't have his way right away with Samuel. Why? Because he said that prayer
Yep.
long enough for bro to come and handle business. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But if you're
I'm
pushing,
glad you saw it the way I saw it, man. It did.
yeah.
It was effective.
But if you're right, but if you're pushing witchcraft, you're gonna not see that. Purposely, you're not gonna see that.
Mhm.
You're gonna see what you want to see.
Yeah.
So everybody saw what they want to see in the movie, and that's a good movie.
Yeah, because there's a scripture that
That's a
tells
good
you
movie.
that God will allow you to be tempted only to allow for you to have a way out. And that's what happened with Sammy. Sammy was able to have that way out.
It's funny you said there's a scripture.
Mm-hmm.
In the very beginning of the movie, they give you the scripture that's going to tell you about the whole movie.
Yep.
It's the same scripture.
Yep.
That God, he won't let you get tempted above what you can bear, and when you are tempted, he's going to allow a way out.
Yep.
Everyone had a way out of what they were going to do, and they did it anyway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't take the way out. Sammy found it, and this something we're all guilty of. A lot of us forget God until we need him.
Yep.
When he needed God, all of a sudden he remembered. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't saying he needed him. And then once you get saved, what do a lot of us do? Once God get us out that situation, we go right back.
We go right back.
Bro, we're right back. You know what I'm saying? But that's an accurate depiction. Because that's how we are. And we love to give the credit
to the movie because the movie told an accurate story.
And we love to give the credit to everything but God, to music, to the hoodoo, to the voodoo, anything, Santeria, anything but God, we love to give the credit to.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, even people who practice voodoo, when they life on the line, they say, God, help me.
Yep.
Because all that should go out the window. Because all that shit is vanity. It's not real.
It's not.
It all go out the window when they life on the line, man. You know, because they know where the power really is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why in the Bible it says all principalities are under God, man. Like God is the final authority, man. He's the final authority above everything, man. Everything.
Yeah.
On both sides of the aisle. He's the final authority. Shoot, Satan can't come mess with you unless he get permission from God, man. Like he got to get that permission.
He can't.
Like when he tried to go in and when he tried to go and
my God, people don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he's sent to you.
Yep.
Like he was sent to Job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, God has sent him because
Job don't.
But
Job didn't realize the reason why.
Go ahead.
Job was perfect, but his sons were not. That's why he lost them all. That's why they all died.
Yep.
But Job had to suffer that because these are his kids. But his sons were wicked.
Facts.
And God took them all away and gave them new sons.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that's exactly what he did.
that's what happened.
And that's what
But
God don't play, man. Like
yeah.
when Yahweh Shah talked about put you can't put wines in old bottles. Wines have to be put in new bottles. That was a
Right.
parable, but when you think about that parable is with life.
New wine and old bottles, yeah.
Exactly. You can't use something that's used to put something that's new in it. You got to
Right.
put something new in what's new. So when he
Right.
got away, when he did away with those sons were already tainted. They were already wicked. They were already cursing
Right.
against God. They were already sinning against God. There wasn't no redemption for them. So they had to go.
Right. They had to
And
go.
people could sit there and say, well, that's God being cut out. No, God is holy. God gotta
No,
follow who he is. If he's holy, he can't have something that's standing in front of him. It goes against his nature. His nature is holy. And that's what people forget.
People don't
People
realize the
forget
only
that.
reason why we don't die right now when we constantly do sin is because Jesus came to do away with that one law, the sacrificial law.
Yep. Yep.
When he sacrificed himself, that's the reason why God don't, like he killed all them people in the Philippines all at once, and people in India be dying by thousands, but we don't die like that.
Yep.
Because that sacrificial law was for us, his people.
Yep.
And
Yep.
if we didn't do that, we'll be getting swallowed up by the ground and shit. Like back in the day.
We be getting
A
stoned.
lion out of nowhere coming, maul your ass.
We be getting stoned to death. Like we be having all kinds of stuff, man. We would still have a lot of things that would affect us. So you're right about that, man. You are absolutely right about that.
And that's what the Christian church get wrong at. He came for first of all, Jesus said it over 100 times in the Bible. He came for his own people, number one.
Yep.
And he didn't sacrifice for everybody.
Nope.
He didn't. Look at the people the people who's been through the most shit and still here. It's obvious who he came for.
Yep.
And look at the people who can't deal with anything. This recession got people going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Black people still cool. Why we been here before?
Yep.
We been here before. We know this. Like white people, they lose their shit right now. They scared. But when you're trusting God, you ain't scared. But anyway, man, if you ask me, Sinners is an instant classic, man. And I don't do that a lot. I don't just be saying movies are classics, bro.
It is.
I thought it
would be a disrespect. Like Richie Rich said last week when we was on, Michael B. Jordan showed what a lot of people don't want to give him credit for, but he showed acting range. He showed the ability to be able to be so many different genres of portrayal of what stereotypes they always try to say that he can't fit or he can't be in the mode of. I saw, him play a bad boy. I saw him play a slickster. I saw him play a mobster. I saw him play a calculated man. I saw him play, a black loyal man. I saw him play a man that stood on his business. I saw him play a guy who didn't break morals. I saw him play a guy that can play both sides of the aisle. Hence the name and Smoke. I saw him play a guy that stood on principle. I saw so many variations of him, man. So to me, his range in that movie, and this is what about his acting that I was more impressed about than anything else, was usually when somebody's like the main star, they try to take away from everybody else. He was so humble in his portrayal that we were able to see the brilliance of everybody else's acting ability in the movie as well too. He was able to step aside and let us see everyone. And that is skills right there. Because not every actor in his position would be willing to do something like that. They'll try to take the whole spotlight. But he didn't do that, man. He just ran with the movie based on the way Ryan Coogler set the movie up for him to run with it. It was
and I think that's a big,
man.
And I think that's a big shout out to Coogler because how he sets it up. He gives everybody a chance to shine.
Yep.
It's not Even though the movie got a star, it's never dominated by the star.
Yep.
The movie is the movie. The movie is the star. That's
Yep.
how he does it.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and people are getting
he
on
knows
Haley
how.
Stanfield with the sex scene and all of that. But that's if you're gonna do a movie like
That shit
that.
happens in real life.
Thank you. If you're gonna do a movie like that, you have to
People
portray
do that shit in
everything
real life.
really.
Yeah.
Like, so what? Like, you mean to tell me your dude don't know that's what you do? Like, she's been doing these sex scenes as an actress. Why now they want to get on her because she's doing it with Michael B. Jordan that looks like me and you? She's been doing this with white actors her whole career. Nobody said nothing. But now they want to get on Michael B. Jordan and be like, oh, is she cheating on such and such? Is she cheating on Josh Allen with Michael B. Jordan? Da 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 da. You know, like people just want to get they want to take away from the movie.
Right, it's not even about that. And at the end of the day, Josh Allen a big boy, man.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with a woman being an actress, then you can't marry her. You can't be with her.
Exactly.
Because at some point she's gonna be called to do a love scene.
Yep.
And me purposely, I know I want to be for that, so I will never deal with one.
Yep.
But once you make that decision to deal with her, you have to take that on. He's a big boy. He can handle himself, man. Right. Niggas, if you ask me, some people love to make points of contention.
Yep.
Life has enough natural points of contention. We don't have to make them out of thin air.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, make what you just said made
a good point of
the world, man.
What? A good point of contention would have been she knew how dangerous it was for her to be there. She shouldn't have been at that party. That's a good point of contention.
Yeah.
One you pulling out your ass is talking about her personal life and how her boyfriend is gonna. Like, bro, who cares, man? He's a grown man. He knew what he was getting himself into when he married a actress, bro.
Yeah,
or he got with an actress. He knew what
it's crazy you said that because the point of contention that she did in the movie, and she didn't have to do that, but I liked how they portray that because in reality, women are curious by nature, so it would go against you saying she wouldn't be like that. When she took herself to go outside to go deal with them by herself, she didn't have to go by herself. But she made that choice to do that because she thought that she could be comfortable in being able to do that because at that time, white privilege gave you this cloak, this false cloak of protection where you thought you could be okay to do that. And that's what she did. And she ended up paying the price.
And another thing white privilege does, it gives them a white savior complex.
Yep.
They believe it's on them to save black people, but they don't do it from a good point. They do it for the control. Remick, you heard Remick? I just want to save you. I just want to protect. I just want to help y'all out. Yep. No one asked you for your help, man.
Nobody asked for your help,
but that comes with white privilege.
Nobody asked for your
comes with white privilege. They think it's their job. They think right. They think it's their job to save black people, but they do it from a vantage point of when they're done save you, they control you.
Facts.
That's just as racist as the KKK members coming to take back the joint they sold.
Yep.
One side, and when I did my review on Threads, I said one side to me represents the liberal mentality, and the other side represents the MAGA hat mentality.
Yep.
And we don't have any allies. Black people want allies outside of our race so bad, but we don't have. All we got is each other. That's what we have, each other. And that's not confined to the Black Americans. That's the diaspora of Hebrews, Haitians, Dominicans, all the West Indians, period, Caribbean people, South America, Central America, and where we're at right now. God's chosen people all. We still got some of them in the motherland too.
Yep,
we're everywhere, and we are what we have. We don't have allies outside of us.
Facts.
The people. That's the biggest point I think people are missing about the movie. That's what is being said,
and the reason why.
We're scattered.
We're scattered.
Whether he constantly did that or not, yeah, we're scattered.
But you were saying
whether he
whether he
constantly did that
constantly
or
did that
not,
or not. What were you saying on that? What was that point?
that's the message being sent.
Yep. I
But
love
we
the
don't have
way
y'all.
I
We don't have
love the way
y'all.
I love his cinematography because he showed you pictures. Pictures paint a thousand words, man. He showed you a lot of pictures of how things happen at that time. And I like how he was able to fade the black from scene to scene. This doesn't get credit a lot. Back in the days when directors and producers used to do certain films or whatever, it was based on the way that they would transition. That's how you used to get awards. Now it's all about the whole encompassment or like the whole gulf of the movie. And then you lose little things, little details. What Ryan Coogler is really
Mhm.
great at is the little details. This is why when you watch the movie, you really have to pay attention because he's great at painting the details in your brain. And that's why,
Mhm.
I want to go back and watch it again because I'm sure there's so many details that I missed that I thought I got from watching it the
Yeah,
first time.
yeah. There was one I missed that I ain't picked up till like a couple of days ago. I watched it twice. When Sammy's a young man, he dresses a lot like Stack. When he got older, when they show him
Hmm.
again, did you see the credit scenes? He's dressed like Smoke.
Yep. Mm,
And you ask me, that's a
mm.
transition. That's a transition of his mind. That's a transition of his mind state. He realized Smoke was right the whole time about this blues shit.
Yep.
Notice he said he hasn't been happy since that day. So the blues didn't bring him
That day.
happiness.
Yep. Yep.
That was the happiest day of his life,
Yep.
and he almost died that day. So all the blues
Yep.
he's been doing since then has not brought him happiness.
Nope. Nope.
That's
And
that's
he
what
was
people.
so happy. He was so happy that day to see them.
Yep.
It was so crazy.
Mind you, he said before the sun. Mind you, he said before the sun went down. So that's before they even started. That's before he even started in the juke joint. Because everything kicks off after the sun goes down. So that's before he started playing there. He said that was the happiest day of his life before the sun went down that day. That means even before he started playing. So he at the end of his life he regretted choosing
Yeah,
blues.
and what I liked about the movie is it showed you everybody's self-preservation, right? Like that. Let's talk about how bad shit happens past a certain time. Always when it goes down, it always happens. You know that old saying they
Right.
always tell
Right. Don't nothing happen good past midnight.
you, bad
And
things always
truth be told,
happen.
the horrible part of Christianity is what black people don't realize is we never question certain things that we should have questioned. Um, Christianity made Sunday the day of worship, and if they would have been under their Hebrew practices, they wouldn't even been there that night. They'd have been practicing the Sabbath at home. We're not even supposed to be out. We ain't on Saturday from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. We not even supposed to be outside doing none of that. Supposed to be at home. That's supposed to be a day of rest. They wouldn't even have been there. They was practicing the Sabbath like they was supposed to. Crazy, bro. Did you freeze? I think he froze for a minute. But yeah, so I'm gonna take over a little bit till he gets back. On threads, another part I brought up was do y'all remember the part where Slim saw the people on the chain gang? They were singing their song, or whatever. Then Slim recalled the fact that his homeboy got lynched and how he started going into song. Well, there's a scripture that covers that. I think it's in Psalms where David says those that held us captive required a song from us. So they've been doing
Mhm.
that. Like when they would lead us off into captivity, they would make us sing our songs from back home, and then I could join that with the chain gang scene. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah,
how I watch movies. Like my mind goes to a different place while I watch movies. You know what I mean?
yeah, and it's interesting that you see that, and I don't know what happened with the live or whatever on my end, but there was something that happened, so I
Yeah.
apologize. I had to like reload in, but I love the fact that the reason why the name of the movie is called Sinners is because we all are sinners, and I think that's the premise everybody's missing.
Yep.
Like everybody was sinning, and everybody was doing what sinners do. We do sinful shit. We get into our vices. We go to what we know best. The movie kicks off with two brothers that are lying. Lying is a form of sin. They're
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Nah, we cousins."
Mm-hmm.
And you can look at these motherfuckers dead in the face and be
Right.
like, "Come on, man, y'all motherfuckers are
Right.
twins."
Right. Right. He said I could do that's a dumbass question.
He has a dumbass question,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know
But
what was
yeah.
funny
But technically that's a lie.
exactly.
Yep. But
So when
here's
I
another
saw that,
thing
I
though.
was like,
Here's,
okay, Ryan
here's another
Coogler is
thing.
kicking it off. He's kicking it off exactly the way that because I'm thinking the title, Sinners, and I'm getting that. And then you have Sammy. Sammy is like torn. His father's a preacher. He's trying to, stay in the church or whatever. But at the same time, his musical ability is calling him. Like he wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happens that Smoke and Stags is in town, and he wants to like ride with them. That's his family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't want to do that? Your family comes into town and you just want to kick it with them. That's everybody wants to do some shit like that,
Especially a
especially
big
if you ain't seen the
especially a
motherfucker in a
big
minute.
cousin. Yeah.
Especially if it's your big cousin and he cool as fuck too, and
Right.
he got bread, and he getting ready to go do something that's connected to what you want to do. He's about to
Right.
go start a juke, and then you do music. Come on, man. Like, let's put two and two
Right.
together. And then Stack puts an instrument in your hand, even though he lied like a motherfucker to him.
Right.
He put an instrument in his hand to speak to his musical ability, because Stack knew, okay, if this dude could really play, he was already thinking like a businessman, like, hey, I can use him for the night. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I look at Smoke as the more okay, Smoke and Stacks are like me and you. I say that because Smoke is like more serious. Like, I would be more serious with the
Right.
shit. Stack is more laid back with it, but he's still being business minded,
Right.
because there's some business moves that he made that if Smoke didn't listen to him, they wouldn't have prospered in that juke.
Right.
Like, telling him, come on, man. Smoke was like, nah, we need to charge these people premium, blah, 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 blah. And Stack was like, come on, man. If you do that,
Can't do that today. Can't do that today, man. These niggas work
can't do
hard.
that today.
He said these niggas work hard for no win nickels.
Yeah,
We can't do that today, man. We got to be a little more compromising today.
exactly. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of me and you when I
Yeah.
want to do something more structured. And you're like, come on, man. If we just do it this way, it'll come across as more natural. It'll come
Right.
across as more relatable. So that's how they're moving. But you see how they're moving in such a synchrony. Like, they're so harmonized with one another. They know each other's play. So that's why when Stacks died, Smoke felt like a piece of him was gone. Like, it was instant.
Yeah.
You could see it. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
when the Asian woman was getting on him about, you supposed to be Smoke, you supposed to be a soldier. I like that part, because that was real. My twin just
Right.
fucking died. A half of me just died. So I need a
Right.
moment to gather myself. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
she don't understand war. War is
Yep.
war. The things of war happen here. They're just
Yep.
played out physically.
Yep.
You don't do anything unless you're actively being shot at or actively you don't do anything off of instinct. You think before you do things. Bro was getting
Exactly.
his thoughts together. She was trying to rush the situation. Why? Because she didn't value nobody in there.
Yep.
She didn't. She homie. If homie would have been there side of her, homie would have done it because he actually valued those people.
Yep.
But Grace didn't. Grace saw them as money, As
Yep.
far as she's concerned, she never seen her kid again, so she don't care if she died, and she don't
No,
care if
she
they
don't care.
died either.
She
You
don't
know what I
care.
mean?
Like her husband was more concerned with the well-being and how everything moved. It's just the thing with her, and that's why the reason why I like the truth and everything is it showed you how when her interests were no longer aligned, she was willing to pit herself against them.
Yeah,
Okay, my husband's out there, so fuck y'all. And now my kid, I don't know if my kid and this guy's threatening my kid, even though in hindsight it's 2020. They
he was
he really
manipulating
wasn't
her.
gonna he really was never gonna link up with the kid.
No, he was
He
there
was
for
just playing
Samuel.
a mental he was playing a
Yeah,
mental hate game with her just to try to invite themselves in.
right,
And she fell for the bait.
right. She fell for it. Thing about it is this, man.
But I was gonna say this real quick.
That
This
dynamic
is what
plays in real
happens.
life.
But this is what happens when you think of the Garden of Eden, right? With the serpent, right? In order for him to get through Adam, he had to go through Eve. See, evil knows that in order for it to basically reign in any realm, it always has to go through the woman. Think about
Yeah,
it. The Haley Stanfield character, she was the one that brought the vampire in because she brought herself in as a vampire, and then she bites Stacks, and then he is invited in. You see what I'm
right.
saying? And then you have this Asian woman that says, "Yes, you're invited." Like evil always starts and manifests itself full bore through getting through the woman because they know if they can play through that curiosity of that woman, they can play through that anger, that frustration of that woman, they can get in. And that's what he
Truth
did.
be,
He played off of
truth
it.
be told, this how you know God works through people even if they don't know it. But they really gave us the Adam and Eve story right in our faces with Stack and Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Except for they both would have been black. But anyway, Christians gave us the idea that they went off and they had sex. But
Yep.
as a Hebrew, I don't have that. I don't have that mentality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the whole preface of the Bible is God telling His chosen people stay away from everybody else. Stay away
Yep.
from everybody else. And in Hebrew, trees are symbols of people, or it could
Yep.
be a symbol of a person, of a great
Yep.
man, or a symbol of a whole group of people. He's saying, stay away from that tree. Stay away from those roots. Stay away from that tree.
Yep.
Shorty go out there anyway, do she not?
Yep. She
She
went
go
out
out
there
there. She go out there. She gets seduced,
because she's curious.
and she comes
That's her
back with that
female
doctrine.
nature.
And she comes back
Mm-hmm.
with that doctrine. Now,
Yep.
who does she give it to? Adam.
Adam. Because where Adam fails is Adam didn't commit the act. Where he failed is he just allowed himself to be beta in being able to accept it.
Right.
And that's what God was mad at him at. Because if Adam wasn't beta about it and Adam repelled her immediately, God would have just done away with her
You were
and
supposed to
would have
reject.
gave him another Eve. Let's
He,
keep it
he,
above.
you were supposed to reject. She came back. She came back with that doctrine, and he accepted it.
And he
And the
accepted it.
and the doctrine was we could live forever. We could be
Mm-hmm.
like gods. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing, bro was saying.
Yep. Same
That
thing
just
he was
came to me
saying.
right now. I can't wait to get off this bitch and drop it.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on,
That just
man.
came to me right now.
Hey, listen, man. Flesh and bone didn't give that to you, boy. You already
Yeah,
know that. You know that came from above,
no,
man.
that just
You
came to
got
me
you got
right
to
now.
run with that. You got to run with that.
They
That
gave
came
us
from
the Adam
above.
and Eve story.
That's
It's
exactly
crazy.
what it is. That's exactly what it is. And that's why I tell everybody, if you look at the Garden of Eden, right, and you look at the original story, there's so many verses. The serpent, the bad boy, the Pookie and the Ray Ray. That's the first version of the Pookie and the Ray
Right.
Ray. That's the first version of the bad boy. The seducer, the first version of that. Adam, the dutiful husband, the first version of that. The nice guy, the first version of that. The good guy, the first version of that.
Mhm.
Eve, the curious nature of a woman, the first version of that. The fact that, oh my gosh, this up and down that this guy is making me do, wow, it's really messing with me. Do you see the first version of that? The
Mhm.
wondrous nature of, okay, now I want to see what he talking about over there. You get the first of all of that. So if she's used to everything is flatline with Adam, right? The same every day, same every day. What you're getting used to again is the first nature of she got bored with everything as is, status quo.
Right.
And this one's giving me some form of excitement. So let me go see what they talking about. They're just like that Haley Stanfield one, right? She had no business going outside. She should have kept her rabbit ass inside. But she wanted to go see what they was talking about. It wasn't because of money. She wanted to go see what they had.
She was curious.
She was curious.
She was curious.
And that's what got Eve, curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And you know there's a terminology where they say curiosity kills the cat.
Yep.
And that's what happened. Because if you think of cats, right, and how their natures are very similar to how women's natures are. They're very curious. Cats always get into all kinds of shit. They try to get into different holes and all that. You don't see no dogs doing that. Dogs don't got time to be playing those games, man. They know they're gonna get hurt. They know they're gonna have to go if they go into the wrong hole or something like that. They don't got time for that. They're very regimented. They're very
dogs will do the same thing every day.
Exactly.
For the rest of their life.
Yep. They're logical, man.
when a cat leave your house, a cat did all type of shit.
All kinds of shit.
That's when they put them cameras on them cats been having 8 fights. The stole 3 apples. They did all type of shit. They come back like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened. Ooh, yeah, man. I be having cats come into my yard, and the shit that they do with each other, man. They be knocking over the damn outside patio shit. Then they stand on that, and then they looking at you like, "What you gonna do?" And then they jump, and then they start running fast. I'm like, these motherfuckers, man.
Well, people don't know when a cat leave a crib, it go to all these different places, marking its territory.
Yep.
Because it still got animalistic ways. So when you see cats randomly fighting, then that's not a random fight. One cat is telling the other cat, "Bro, why is you over here? You know you ain't supposed to be over here, man." They start fighting. You know what I'm saying? And the cat that's not supposed to be over there, because they always be like, they be shook when they see the other thing. Like, damn, you caught me, bro.
Exactly, man. It's funny you said that. Whereas with dogs, they fights don't happen because you came into their own yard. You came into their own territory. They're not going to look for it. You just came into their shit. So now they got to fuck you up.
Right.
You didn't see the sign that said, attention, guard dog.
Right.
So, enter at your own risk. You didn't see that. So you entered at your own risk and they fucked you up. But they're not going to just go fuck you up.
No, they ain't going all over the neighborhood.
Nope.
And make the territory.
Even stray dogs know they can't just run up in other dogs' environment because they know they're gonna get messed up.
Stray dogs, they make families.
Yep.
Cats, it rarely happens where cats normally they have to be raised together for them to go out, and cats are very antisocial.
Exactly.
They see each other in its own. They have to be raised together, like in the same vicinity, and know each other for them to be dogs. They just meet each other and they be friends. You know what I
mean? Everybody thinking that roof is they mad. Nah, they talking, man. They communicate. Yeah. Now you'll know when it's beef because the roo will be with like I'm ready to get off this leash. If it's that, then yeah, they bucking. But if you don't see them bucking like that, they just trying to talk.
The tail gets straight.
Yeah, the tail gets straight.
When it's wagging, they really talking.
Yeah, they talking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Richie Rich said you're gonna jump in 5 minutes. Yeah, they when you right about that. When that tail's wagging, they friends, man. They just smelling each other. That whole smell is to be like, okay, I got your scent. So the next time you're around me, I know who the fuck you are. That's why they doing that. Mm-hmm. It's really like okay, I need to familiarize myself with you type shit.
Right.
And then if you see the both of them lift their leg up and they pee, their friendship is 100% secure.
Right.
That means they both cool with each other, that they can pee in the same area.
Right, for real. There ain't no problem.
There ain't no problem. But when you see they barking, and you see that bark is like the leash look like it just want to come off. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's some you in my territory. I'm about to
violence,
fuck you up type shit.
violence. Yeah,
It's just straight violence, and usually you'll see that kind of thing with a small dog and a big dog. I don't know what the complex is between big dogs and small dogs, but they really get violent with each other.
man, the small dogs always be the ones starting shit.
Yeah.
The big
They
dog
over
be
there
chilling.
barking for no damn reason. The big dog not
Right,
even paying them no attention, and then the big
right.
dog get like, come on, man, you don't see the size disparity here. What the fuck you doing?
Gonna get hurt.
Yeah, you gonna get fucked up. And then you see the little one when the big one run up on the little one all quiet now. Like, my
If
bad, my bad. That's why I wish I could hear dogs' interpretation of how they speak with the roof, because I'm sure they
mhm.
saying the same shit we saying. Oh, my bad, my bad.
if, if if raised correctly, dogs have some of the most restraint
Yep,
in the animal kingdom, man.
they do, they
Dogs
do.
let cats get away with shit.
Yeah, they
The
do.
one that they raised with, a dog could kill a cat, man.
Yeah,
And
at any given
he'll let
moment.
her hit her or whatever. It don't hurt him. He might swipe at her with it, but a dog could really kill a cat,
Yeah,
mangle, it, and they don't.
yep,
They can mangle a baby. They just let babies do what they're gonna do. They know in their mind this is a kid.
yep,
They have to be
yep.
raised to be violent
Yeah.
to
Now,
automatically go
one dog, one breed of dog, I still feel like they got red when you push the button a little too much. Is that pit bull?
yeah,
Cause even the ones I know that's trained, I seen when the owners slap them a little too much, they ready they go to bite that motherfucker, man.
yeah,
Them motherfuckers have a red button that there's still that okay, look, you done gone too far now. I gotta teach you a fucking lesson.
right.
Cause I seen an owner last week, and then I seen her the next week, and now she's in a cast. Her leg is in a cast. She got two pit bulls. And I told her, I was like, why are you in a cast? Are you in a car accident or something? Oh, I had slapped my pit bull across the face, and then my pit bull bit, like, literally chewed my leg off. And that's what I said to myself. That pit bull is reminding you what kind of dog it is
Right,
and how it has a limit. It doesn't give a
right.
fuck that you owner. You just went too far. So it had to remind you went too far.
Yeah. You shouldn't be hitting no dog in their face nowhere. You should be hitting
Exactly.
them in the bottom.
Exactly.
Because it's really to hurt you're not supposed to inflict pain to hurt their feelings.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Put their
Yep.
nose in the piss where they pissed at, and you hit them in
Yep.
their butt one time. That's enough. You're not supposed to be kicking your dog all in the ass and punching it and shit. You,
Because
people
that's
like that need therapy.
yeah, they do. They
Yeah,
do.
you're not
And
supposed to be inflicting
it's
pain.
interesting that you say that, because when you say that stuff with the restraint with the dogs, these owners be thinking they can get away with murder with these dogs because of the restraint that the dog have. And then they get mad when
Right.
the dog acts up.
The dog act up, man. Like, yeah, the dog bit the shit out of you. You deserve to get bit.
Yeah.
Why would you slap the dog across his face?
Yeah.
You know what this animal capable of? That animal,
Yeah.
a pit bull can
She
kill
said,
you.
she
If a
said,
pit bull laps around your neck, you're dead.
you're dead. You're done
Yeah,
because the PSI on their bite. The
yeah.
PSI on their bite is close to a grizzly bear, man. Are you fucking kidding me?
And they don't let go.
And they don't let go.
They don't let go till they pull something off. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they
Like,
don't let go until they see blood. And even
yeah,
then, if you moving, they still on you. You got to
yeah,
be like not moving for them to be like, all right, you good. Like, I'm
yeah.
done with you.
As long as you're trying to get away, the longer they're gonna bite you.
So
And
when she said that, but she was like, I'm never gonna do that again. He reminded me that he was a pit. I was like, well,
yeah,
I'm glad you got the message. And
mm,
now forever you're gonna have those scars that's always gonna remind you.
that's all I'm gonna
So I'm
remind you.
sure anytime he gets around that leg area, you probably gonna even flinch. You probably gonna even be scared.
Right.
You probably gonna be like, oh hell no. Oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you gonna tell yourself. Hex to the damn no.
Richie
Richie
Rich,
Rich,
what's
what's
up?
up, man? Richie Rich, what's up, man?
up?
Yeah, man, we chilling, we chilling. So let's pivot, let's switch gears here, man. Let's pivot and let's switch gears and let's talk about the Lakers, man. I want your take on Anthony Edwards said two things that made me laugh my ass off. One, he said he was trolling Shannon Sharpe when he said they said Lakers in 5. Then when we went up 3-1, they said Lakers gonna win in 7, but it looked like the Timberwolves in 5. Go to hell today. Then the second thing he said, we beat the best player in the world. We beat the best player ever. Go to hell today. I'm laughing my ass off. And then the third thing he said to the Lakers fans when he was walking, like this dude was stunting in LA, walking like the street. He walked like 3 blocks and then he went into his hotel. He said, I just beat y'all team. Why y'all on my dick? Why y'all sitting here saying, Ant, you bald? Like y'all some disloyal ass fans. Like you on my dick? The fuck? I
Right.
just beat your team. You should be mad at me. The fuck going on? I like that dude, man. He's just real.
Hey man, the NBA might be taking our advice of let an anti-hero be the star and not let them not have to be so cookie cutter and so clean cut. Let's see.
Yep.
I mean,
What's your
it
take on
is
that, Richard?
interesting. It is interesting, man. The NBA just might, allow him to be the face, but I'm still, a little skeptical about it. They're probably gonna bring Ant into a room, and they're gonna tell him, hey, man, you're gonna have to clean up on some stuff if we're gonna give this to you. You know what I'm saying? But Ant, he did his thing in that series, man. That boy balled out. He showed growth. Definitely, he showed growth from last year.
You gave him
He
a
showed
title. I
that
like the title you gave him. You say he beat KD, he beat Joker, he beat LeBron. What'd you call him again?
the legend killer.
Damn. I like that shit.
Hey, man, that's what he's becoming. He took out KD. He swept KD's ass. He took out Jokic in 7. When Jokic was getting the best player in the game title, he took them boys out after they had their championship run the year before, and then he took out old man Bron this year and Luka. Like, hey, no one expected these guys to beat the Lakers. Everybody expected LeBron and Luka, Lakers' new toy to go on a deep run. They didn't expect the Lakers to win the title this year. So some people said that they thought the Lakers were going to win because they were going to LeBron and Luka were going to be able to carry that team through their star power. But you had some people saying that they were at least going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm looking at that team. How you got dudes that this team just doesn't fit. They lost their interior presence. They got dudes that are getting hunted on defense, and Luka and Austin Reeves. Even LeBron was getting hunted. Julius
Right.
Randle was constantly hunting this dude. And LeBron hates those type of power forwards. He hates the Aaron Gordons, the Julius Randles of the world. Dudes that's gonna make him work. Like they not just gonna let LeBron get away. If LeBron try to cheat on defense, these dudes are gonna cut. These dudes are gonna throw their weight around. They're gonna make LeBron work. He absolutely hates playing against these type of forwards because he knows he can't cheat. He can't play lackadaisical out there. That's what he can't bully those guys either. I remember he was trying to pick fights with Aaron Gordon when Denver beat their ass 2 years in a row. He was Aaron Gordon wouldn't back down from him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad Lakers, they were trying to get a higher seed, and they ended up getting they ended up matching up with a team that was a bad matchup for them because they had the interior presence and they had guards that could expose their weak defense in their backcourt. Their Austin Reeves and Luka. Every time Ant, he was trying to switch on Austin Reeves or Luka. You already knew it was either going to be a score or it was going to be him driving and kicking and a guy being able to hit a shot off Ant's attention. But man, if this series didn't prove that LeBron, I'm happy about this series. because now you got
all
LeBron
over your
James.
face. You're so happy. Look at your
LeBron,
glowing.
this dude been trying to get this GOAT status title off this longevity farce stuff that he's been doing. This series has exposed LeBron, dog, and this dude got people flipping. He got his own fans flipping. I've been dudes on YouTube that's saying LeBron the GOAT. They's like, LeBron is no longer the GOAT, man. Like this dude, this longevity don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. If you ain't winning titles at this age, you trying to defy Father Time, but you ain't winning titles. All you doing is getting stats. That doesn't mean nothing, brother. You're not elevating this team.
They keep losing in the first round. Denver swept them twice in the first round, and then now Ant beat them in the first round. So what is this longevity getting you if you go into the first round in the playoffs and you now have Luka? Like, there's no excuse, and you still getting done the fuck up. That's why Miko Harrison, we all laughing because we said it on the last live we was all together. That dude is so happy he unloaded that fat fuck off of Dallas, man. He don't got to deal with that motherfucker no more, man. Yeah, he don't got to deal. He don't got to deal with that motherfucker no more because of the fact that he knew that Luka, and I think you said that, Ross, specifically. He knew that Luka was a con more than a pro. Like, you only want to play one side of the ball. You always have to have every situation in your own favor. And then at the same time, when I give you everything to stack the deck, you go and mess it up. I gave you Kyrie Irving. I done gave you Jason Kidd. Now, guess what? Jason Kidd is no longer the head coach of Dallas because he's gone to, people going to go to greener pastures and do something. I think he got some ownership stake in some international team or whatever, and he's moving on greener pastures. You messed that whole situation up. Yeah, he stepped down.
Jason Kidd. Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Because he's gonna go get like an ownership opportunity in some European team or something like that called Embry or something like that. I was reading the news the other day. So you messed that whole situation up, and now the team is kind of like starting from scratch. When, let's say, even if you would have left that Dallas situation, you would have walked away with a finals. Everybody would have still had a finals going on the greener pastures. You couldn't allow yourself to take a backseat because, to me, when I look at Luka, I see a borderline version of James Harden, a hyperball dominant type of player. And Kobe already said that style of play don't fucking work in the playoffs. That shit don't work.
It don't work, period. Wow. Only why it wins in the regular season, because let's be honest, in the regular season, people are playing to win, but they're not playing every game to win. If that makes sense. Like, they're not putting it all on the line in the regular season.
Yep.
In the playoffs, they're putting it all on the line. I thought I cut this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going through the motions. Yeah. Let's be honest. They're going through the motions of the regular season. Half of the times they partying. They going, especially when they get into their favorite city, they partying the night before just to go play the next day. So they're really not taking basketball serious in the regular season.
No.
And don't let them hit a Miami destination or a Chicago destination. Kobe already told you about 3 destinations that every time players go there, he knows they're going to party. He always say every time they go to Miami, every time they go to LA, and every time they go to Chicago, he parties with them. But then after that, he does that 4 a.m. drill where he basically gets them to throw out all of that drinking and shit that they did.
Right.
So something about those 3 places, every time players go to those places, they wild the fuck
Big
out.
Cities. Probably New York too.
Yeah, and New York too.
But yeah, man.
But it's interesting. No, go ahead and say what you was going
to say. I knew LeBron and Doncic wasn't going to work. And if they were going to work, they're going to need a whole lot of help from the referees. They essentially played ball the same.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They essentially played ball the same. Neither one of them have a consistent jump shot down. Neither one of them have a consistent jump shot to save their life, man. And I just randomly got a crap, man.
Yep.
Weapons being 40 plus.
Yeah,
neither one of them play well off the ball. LeBron James can play well off the ball. He don't like to, and they don't like being down low and banging. They're big as hell, but they don't like to bang down low. They want to play on the perimeter with small guys.
Max.
I knew that wasn't gonna work. I know it wasn't gonna work.
I mean, LeBron at 40 trying to play defense is hilarious. I mean, he made an effort in game 4. He made an effort in game 4, but it was all for naught, man, because you knew where JJ like this dude on YouTube calls him JJ Redneck. Yeah. And JJ got exposed. They were calling this dude some type of genius or whatever. This dude got exposed out there. He got out coached. He looked like a fool, and he didn't want to take accountability when them reporters were asking him those tough questions about the adjustments he was making all throughout out those games where he had those dudes playing 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So LeBron
he got that job because he's friends with LeBron.
You know what? My bad. Let's not interrupt this nigga.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's a funny topic. LeBron tried to play 48 minutes. We all knew he was gonna burn out in the fourth quarter. He wasn't gonna be able to have anything, and he was gonna choke in the fourth quarter as well. And like LeBron always does, he didn't let us down. That's exactly what he did. But Luka, of all people, he was out there making big shots in last year's playoff run, leading up to the finals. But he had nothing this year, and he got exposed. People were talking about how bad his defense was, but they didn't. He's like one of those players. He gets away. People know he's bad at this area of the game, but they allow him to get away with it. I don't know if
welcome to what's called white privilege.
White privilege. But even now, he's not getting a lot of blame. LeBron is getting all the blame. I'm shocked because LeBron rarely gets all the blame.
No, I told you this was gonna happen.
Yep.
You remember? I told you. I said, listen, LeBron's finally gonna get the blame he deserved when he lose because he had a white because Luka coming over there. Yeah. They ain't gonna blame Luka. But Luka, think about it. They got LeBron playing basically essentially center on defense.
Yep.
And to his credit, he's trying his best. But you got Reeves and you got Luka out there. Niggas is driving right past him every play. Do you know how hard it is?
Yeah.
You're the interior guy, and you got to contest everything. So if they don't score on you, somebody gonna get a tip, man, or somebody gonna get the offensive rebound score because you coming down from the defensive stab. Somebody getting a rebound, as you coming down, they're going up, scoring.
Yeah.
Bro, and I ain't trying to give LeBron no ways out. What I'm trying to say is it showed you, it exposed him so much because everybody can't do what Anthony Davis does.
Yep.
Anthony Davis is carrying that team defensively.
Yep.
Exactly.
Anthony Davis will jump on 3 times. In the time span to take us to jump on once to come down, Anthony Davis will do that 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He could make a block here, then make a block over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody can't do that. And they were discrediting Anthony Davis.
Yep.
That he's the fault. He's the reason. Okay, what's the problem now? Anthony Davis ain't there no more. Now you see just how bad y'all need him.
He's laughing his ass off.
Exposed. Yeah. And you know what? LeBron made a comment.
Bronny James talking about the real reason why we down because I'm not getting enough tick.
LeBron made a comment, man, in that post game about AD. I don't know if it was a subliminal to Rob Pelinka because when AD was asking for a big, he got traded the week after. LeBron brought that up.
Yeah.
And meaning that he probably didn't want AD to be traded. Meaning that he probably didn't know until they told him that they were gonna trade AD and he had no choice but to go along with it. He didn't want Luka on this team, man. Because with that comment confirmed what I thought what was going on behind the scenes. LeBron didn't want Luka on this team because he knew that was Lakers' contingency plan to get rid of him. You know, and have their star replace him, have their star for the next 10 plus years. So LeBron could stop holding them hostage. You know how he signed them 1 year deals, 2 year deals,
bro,
and he could opt out, and they keep giving him money, they keep paying him. But now LeBron is from what I heard, I read some stuff. LeBron is not willing to give the Lakers a pay cut. If he does a new deal with the Lakers, then he's not willing to take a pay cut. And obviously, if LeBron wants to even have a chance to contend, I like what Charles Barkley said yesterday on TNT. We were saying if LeBron wants a chance at a championship, that dude has to be a third or a fourth option, and he has to take a significant pay cut elsewhere. Yep. Right. He has to look at reality. He's not a number one, and he's not a number two anymore. He has to be a number 3 or number 4 on a contending team. And that's
the glad they finally saying that shit. I'm glad to hear that,
bro. That motherfucker. Listen, man. Bro is holding the NBA hostage. They want to get rid of him, but you know what he's doing, because it's all about cachet. It's all about how to monopolize your cachet. LeBron, if you don't know how to do nothing else, he knows how to monopolize his cachet, bro.
Yeah,
he knows he has a cachet with a certain demographic in the black community who never want to see him play basketball. Yep. And he knows him walking away takes some money out of people's pockets. This nigga is going to hold them hostage until he can no longer play basketball, bro. This shit is making me mad. Just go home. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired to see you.
But here's the thing, though. It's funny you said that, Ross. But here's the thing, though. There's a man above that lords over all of us. And he's reminding LeBron every year LeBron stays in the league why he's undefeated. That's God, man. Right. Because he's out there 40 years old taking PEDs, and God's like, I'm undefeated. You can have your PEDs, but now I'm gonna have young guys run in front of you, run you down to the ground like Anthony Edwards. I'm gonna make sure they show the difference between 23 and 40, PEDs or not. And I'm going to show the difference on why your body breaks down regardless. And Father Time is undefeated. So God's been winning this battle over and over and over again. No matter how many times this dude takes PEDs, bro.
I'm so glad you said God. I thought you was going to say Michael Jordan, man. And that was going to piss me off. When you say he's undefeated.
God, man. God is reminding LeBron every year he plays how the game has retired you already. You shouldn't even be here. I am documented saying this, and Ross, you remember when I said this back in 2020, but I'm going to restate this again today. LeBron should have retired after that bubble title. That was his grand finale. Because if he would have retired then, he would have had people missing him. He would have ended with a title. He would have walked out of there like a John Elway. He would have walked out of there, with a championship. Now people would have been talking about, comparing his 2020, even though it's bullshit. They would have been trying to compare it to Jordan's 98. That's what they would have been doing. But this motherfucker did not retire when he was supposed to. And every year after that 2020, you have had new players that have come into the league to remind him why he's old. The Denver Nuggets have done that twice. They've retired him, actually. It wasn't even Ant that retired him. The Nuggets retired him 2 times over. Ant is just roadkill. He's overkill. Ant just basically saying, look, you're done. But the Denver Nuggets already made him done.
Ant went to the cemetery and put concrete over and poured concrete over his grave.
Exactly. That LeBron, it's like he hurt himself. He thought this whole longevity thing was gonna last. It went crash and burn, just like everything he's done. It crashed when he tried to one up the league with that super team bull crap. KD came and one upped him. You know what I'm saying? Now he tried to use another angle. It crashed and burned. He dug his own hole, man. Like, you don't get it. You stay in this league long enough.
Ever since he turned against the media people, you know what they've been saying, Richie Rich? You know what they've been saying, Ross? Now they all saying, has LeBron James been in the league too long? This is the new narrative now.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. He didn't realize they made him, bro. He didn't realize that he's media created. They could have did to him what they doing to Kyrie right now. They could ignore everything he does or always make it a negative. No, they made everything positive around LeBron James, and he forgot he bit the hand that fed him. Like, bro, do you not know you were never as good as Kobe? They made that campaign up out of thin air. Y'all was never peers. You know what I'm saying? Kobe and LeBron was never peers, bro.
And now you got a bunch of people. You got I want to say this, and then Richie Rich, you can get off. You have a bunch of people now rescinding LeBron James is not better. Remember, we had Lewis Sports Network in front of us. We had to ask him 3 times, "Are you sure what you saying?" When he said LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant, now he got a video out saying, "Well, LeBron, if Ant did this to LeBron, then LeBron can't be better than Kobe." Nah, motherfucker, you can't take that back.
What we see Kobe lose to young whippersnappers?
Exactly.
How many times have LeBron lost to some young whippersnappers?
Got hurt.
Younger dudes in his generation ousting this man out in the first round. Come on, man, LeBron, go somewhere, man. It's time to go to that rocking chair, boy.
Right. They're gonna have to see. You was gonna say something before that, though. That's what you was gonna
say.
I
was gonna say LeBron played himself going on that Pat McAfee show. Why he didn't go on Shannon Sharpe show? Why you didn't go on that dude that's also on FSN? What's his name? The Caucasian dude. He's insufferable, man.
He's a narcissist. Narcissists don't go to. They don't appreciate their supporters. They always want to. They always go to a news source trying to win other people over. If you are a staunch supporter of a narcissist, they won't even acknowledge you. He don't even acknowledge Shannon Sharpe.
And you got to think about
Drake doesn't even acknowledge DJ Academics.
Him going on Shannon Sharpe would have actually bit him in the ass, because as much as Shannon Sharpe is his staunch supporter, Shannon Sharpe is not afraid to, and that's why Club Shay Shay does so well. Shannon Sharpe's not afraid to ask you those polarizing questions. He'll sit back and ask you a controversial question and then let you and see if you're going to fold with it or you're going to run with it. Cat Williams was the only one that was the master of being able to run with those questions. But I've seen other people in his podcast, he'll ask those questions and they're crumbling right in front of him. Shannon Sharpe would have put LeBron James on blast because that's just he's a down south dude, and down south dudes that are older like him, they like to keep that shit real. He would have been keeping a lot of shit real.
I don't know, man. He's too big of a fan, man. He might have gave him some softball questions. I know one thing for sure. He was not supposed to go on no Pat McAfee. Because Pat McAfee show by his nature makes you think you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers be showing his natural white ass on that show. He going that, and a lot of times he be right, but that's not the. But when you are a quarterback in the NFL, some things you have to know. You have to either be willing to take the brunt, or the brunt of what's coming to you, or you got to know that as a quarterback you can't say certain things. But when you on the Pat McAfee show, by nature of the show, you feel like you could do whatever.
Yeah, you feel like you could say whatever.
And he was not prepared for that. He got on there talking cash money about and media members. They're like gangs. They stick together.
Because the thing with Club Shay Shay that would have fucked them over is what Shannon Sharpe's team do is they put everything in shorts, then they put everything in mini videos, then they put everything in the actual live itself. So you would have saw snippets and snippets and snippets and snippets. And if LeBron would have said anything, because LeBron likes to control the narrative, he knew on Club Shay Shay with them breaking everything down like that, him saying anything polarizing would have fucked them over. So that's why he didn't go there. He didn't want to be broken down in bits and pieces. He thought Pat McAfee was an ally. But what LeBron is doing, which is what 50 Cent does, and which is what certain individuals like look like us do, when they get around these white folks, they kind of put their head down and they kind of act a little different. So LeBron thought he could act comfortable, not realizing this is what Pat McAfee was doing. Pat McAfee was actually setting him up. A lot of times these media people are setting you up, but they're setting you up with a smile. And you don't even know you're
Vlad
set up, dog.
Vlad TV. that nigga that sent more niggas to jail than the nigga that was chasing around Al Capone. What was that? Oliver Stone. This nigga. This nigga that sends more people to jail than the FBI itself.
Yeah, everybody goes on Vlad TV.
You go on Vlad TV, you going to jail.
They think because he the cool white boy, supposedly they start telling him all the crimes they done did, and next thing you know, a week later, police knocking down their door, man. Why are you telling this dude about the crimes you committed? Are you crazy? Like, you're on social media. What you're saying is documented. Like, come on, man. Think.
Right. You better not have cheated on your taxes or anything. You go on Vlad TV. They're gonna find about all. Crazy. Yeah, man. You had 5 kids just last year. What happened to those kids you was saying?
That's just like what you said earlier about Shannon Sharpe. They was trying to find out what Shannon Sharpe's weakness was, and they found out what his weakness is. He's a freak. Oh, this motherfucker's a freak. Man. He like to freak off.
I just don't get how he slipped up like that, man. Having these conversations on that. You know, he pays that female. He was paying her.
Yeah,
that's crazy. He talks to her every day like that with a young white girl on the phone, man. That's crazy.
Right. Is she recording you?
Yeah.
Some of these Negroes think money really make them white.
They do.
They think that they could do what white. You can't do that.
You can't be telling no white girl.
And Cat Williams warned her, man. You remember Cat Williams and Monique. Right. And Monique, you know Monique, the comedian, right? The old woman, older, she warned him. She said, "Stop messing around with these young girls, man. Get you an older woman, man, that's gonna know how to take care of you." You know, like he didn't listen. He's like, "No, that's not my speed. I'm trying to mess with these young chicks."
Comes before destruction, bro.
And he got caught up. Look at him.
Comes before destruction. Nah, look at him, looking stupid.
that chick about to finesse some M's out of him.
I don't have nothing to say with this because it's funny that you guys are saying these things, because in the reality of men, masculinity, and manhood in the generations of time, a lot of men have gotten in trouble this way, man, because they thinking with their dick, man. They're not thinking with their head.
No discipline.
Yeah, they think that lower leg. They're not thinking with their brain. And once you start thinking that way, you're fucked.
My thing is, man, listen, we all got our vices, man, and we all got our kinks. I judge that kink because it's disrespectful to black men. You letting this broad call you like basically racial slurs. Like, that's ridiculous, right? But hey, that's what you do. You cannot let that come to life.
No.
Bro. You supposed to hire a real escort who and they have services where it's totally discreet.
Full discretion.
And you can live out those wild slave-like mentality scenarios, and no one ever know. The problem with him is he's 60 years old, but he want to be on the scene. Yeah. He want to smash the women that all the young men smashing too. Bro, you are who you lay down with. If you 60, you laying down with a 19-year-old, your mentality is there. You know what I mean? And you don't have the presence of mind to say, we don't really got nothing to talk about because I'm so much older than her. Let me not talk to her until I want some sex. Yeah. Why you have a conversation with this girl every day?
I mean,
you're a millionaire. What do you have in common with a 19-year-old girl to be talking to her?
Exactly.
And only if you're gonna be like that, only call her up when you want something.
Nah, this is the problem with him. He done took too many Rose Sparks, and that thing made him feel like he's 21. And he's ready to fist her. bro. Hey, they was saying some heavy stuff to you. Yeah, they was.
They was saying some heavy stuff, man. Heavy. And listen, and I hope you're paying attention because you like them white girls too, boy.
Yeah, I am paying attention.
Be careful.
Thank you for the warning, bro.
Yeah, man. I told you, man. I'm scared of him, man. I'm scared of him, man.
I remember what Cat Williams said in that interview. He said, man, when he was talking about, he's scared of them white girls because look at Jonathan Majors, man. He said, them white chicks, man, they will have you. I forgot what he said. They will have you running. Yeah, they'll have you running a Kang the Conqueror or something like that.
He said they'll have Kang the Conqueror running down the street. They'll destroy you.
They'll end you in 2
in 2
weekends.
business days. In 2 weekends.
Yeah, that's how they are. They it's grand opening, grand closing.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, I figure out the way they are. That's why when the grand closing about to happen, I close out.
Be careful, boy.
I close out before the close about to happen.
Yeah.
Because they quick,
Yeah,
they quick with it, man. Everything is like so fast, boom, boom. But then when they ready to go, they ready to be done. I've never seen this before. Never seen this kind of turnover with any kind of female before. That's the way they move. And if you one of them Hebrews that just don't know how to move with it or move faster than it, you kind of fuck. And Shannon Sharpe, that's what happened. He got that young one. He just couldn't move to. She probably put whatever she put on this motherfucker, and he and made him feel a certain way that, let's be honest, he probably wasn't feeling like that with anybody else, and that's why he stayed longer than he stayed. And she sold him a fucking fantasy, and he believed in the fantasy, and he just stayed around. Let's keep it a buck. That's what happened. And once she was able to get her hook, line, and sinker in him, she was like, okay, I got him. And he just kind of stayed there a little too long. And she documented everything. She videoed everything because, again, she's OnlyFans. Like, come on, let's be smart here.
Right.
You don't think this person that films everything that they do,
right,
content, everything that they do, is not going to content you. It's not going to film you. That's just like Kanye West going into a relationship with Kim Kardashian, not knowing that Kim Kardashian is an influencer. Anybody that's called an influencer is going to use you for leverage to influence themselves. I mean, come on, let's just be honest here.
If they exploit themselves, they will exploit you.
Exactly.
What was Shannon Sharpe thinking, man? Because listen, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with any female you deal with. You know what I'm saying? But when you a dude that's like 30 years her senior, 40 years her senior, look at Bill Belichick. This chick is trying to finesse Bill Belichick too, because these females have contingencies. These females going in, messing around with these guys that are 40 years they're senior, 30. They're gonna make sure these guys give them contingency plan. She was able to get like a $8 million. I was reading the other day, $8 million portfolio of real estate, where she got him to invest in her. She's not. If these chicks are gonna mess with you, they getting something out of it.
Smart.
She is smart. She's getting something out of it.
That's more than $50 million. That $8 million thing gonna keep making her money.
Exactly.
Smart, but listen,
she made. Yeah.
Have you seen Bill Belichick lately, man? You can tell he do not look good naked. I know that for a fact. So he has to pay.
She got to deal with that. She getting something out of it. You feel me?
Shannon Sharpe just a greedy nigga.
His old wrinkled body.
A greedy nigga. He want all the coochie, bro. He don't have to pay. He's paying. He want all the.
He paying, bro. Hey, listen, Shannon Sharpe don't look bad for physical wise. That dude take care of his body. He be in the weight room. You see it. I don't think he got to pay for that stuff, but he's willing to pay because he trying to do. Because like Cameron said it, he trying to do some BDSM. Some crazy type sexual fantasy. Right. That's why he's doing that, and he's paying the price now.
Yeah, and then on top of that, he taking the Rose Sparks on that motherfucker, walking that motherfucker, feeling like Superman. That's why he talked to that girl the way he did. I'm gonna choke you, bitch. I was like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Don't do you talk to me like that? I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
man.
Of course, he documented all that shit.
She got his behind.
Wrong with what he's saying. It's just the fact that you got to understand the person you're dealing with. You're dealing with a content creator that has mastered the art of creating content off of every fucking thing that she can exploit. So why would you tell her that, not knowing that she's recording that shit for her own game?
That nigga's not,
and if she has a savvy lawyer, which it appears that she does, document everything so that we can just add more M's. We can add more M's. Because notice, he tried to pay her $10 million. So you could tell she got a savvy team, because that team was like, that's too small. Go back to the drawing board. we're gonna milk more out
She
of him.
wanted 50. She wanted 50.
Yeah. We're gonna milk more out of him. We're gonna get this one.
One thing about Stephen A. Smith, man, you gotta respect him because that man won't get caught up in stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about it the other day.
No, you got to hear what Ross said. Ross, what'd you say earlier about Stephen A. Smith and why he never gets caught up in shit?
Bro, I think Stephen A. Smith be giving these niggas the plays. Because Stephen A. Smith said, I never get caught up in anything. The FBI knows prior to my landing and my coming, bro, you locked in with the FBI.
Yeah, exactly.
How reckon nigga locked in with the FBI? Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna take a flight. I'm gonna take a flight to South Miami. What? Listen, Shannon Sharpe ain't just getting on this freaky shit. He been doing this. That's not something you pick up overnight.
No, you don't pick up those habits
He's
overnight.
been doing this, but all of a sudden he get caught when he bring his ass where the ESPN. Now they know everything about this nigga. That nigga got
notice
set
everybody gets caught when they're on ESPN. Paul Pierce all of a sudden gets caught.
Nah, Paul Pierce was wild though, man. He was live streaming that whole encounter he had at that poker game. That's why he got fired, man. He had strippers.
Somebody turned the camera on. Or somebody turned the camera on.
The crazy thing is, bro, unless he's doing hard narcotics, I ain't see him doing. What's wrong with him having female entertainment and being on live stream?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess they thought it was too mature.
You gotta understand the company. You gotta understand the company that owns ESPN. Yeah. The name alone tells you that Disney. Disney. Yeah. So there's always this kid element, this kid-friendly element to it. So anything that represents adult behavior, adult mannerism, they're gonna penalize you. They're gonna punish you because of the fact that Disney owns ESPN. I think if Disney did not own ESPN, let's say ESPN was owned by Fox or ESPN was owned by something else, you wouldn't be seeing all of this shit that you're seeing where people have to like toe this line and they have to be very careful at every move that they make. It's making me now think, why are all of these individuals okay, Ross, why are all of these individuals now all of a sudden?
All right, boy, y'all be good, man.
All right, take care, bro.
All right, Ross. Be easy.
It's making me think, why are all of these individuals all of a sudden now doing this thing where it's like they're still working for ESPN? Like, I just feel like, why all these people are getting taken down? So if all of these people are getting taken down, why would ESPN be a place where people want to continue to work for? If you know that you got to toe that line, you have to be very careful and very methodical. Because let's be honest, all kinds of shit is happening over there in Fox. The Joy Taylor situation happened. Nobody got fired. Notice that. Skip Bayless didn't even see a speed bump from that situation. So clearly they're doing something over there in Fox where nobody's getting affected.
I tell you what, you could tell why people want to be on ESPN. ESPN is giving that bag. Stephen A. Smith got that bag, bro. He got a 5-year, $100 million deal. That man is being paid like an athlete. I mean, they be working him. So salutes to him. You know that, because we know that dude has been doing it for a long time. You remember that dude's been, when he was interviewing AI Kobe on that show he had years and years ago, from to being in this position now. You know, he's the face of ESPN. He's their main guy. You know, and I think Pat McAfee is the second guy. He's the second highest paid guy. But the highest paid person at ESPN is Stephen A. Smith. That guy, you know, and he deserves his money. But ESPN pays. That's why people want to be affiliated with ESPN. If they get on and you become popular, you develop a huge fan base, and people want to see you, you're going to be one of their highest paid employees. But with that comes, you know, you got to toe the line with the stuff that they don't want you being affiliated with. I heard they were about to give Shannon Sharpe a lucrative contract, and he dropped that bag, man. You know, he messed that up. They no longer want him associated with their network. So, you know, he's doing well for himself with his podcast and his the thing that he has going on with Ocho Cinco. But
Yeah.
you know that he dropped that bag. He dropped that bag, bro. He dropped that bag.
Yeah, he'll bounce back though. He'll bounce back because these types of harlots, they come and they go, man. He'll bounce back.
I mean, he should be able to bounce back, but it's gonna be a hit. It's gonna be a hit because he's gonna have to pay something.
Yeah, because they're making it seem like he's dealing with somebody. They're both consensual adults, man. It's just there's just an age disparity. Like if he was dealing with a minor, he'd be fucked. He'd be fucked. He'd be in the back. He'd be in jail right now getting fucked in the ass. Let's be honest. But she's not a minor. She's a consensual adult. When they met, she was 19. Now she's in her 20s. Yeah, he's 50 something. People are just mad that a 50 something year old guy is banging a 20 something year old chick. And let's be honest, a lot of guys would want to be in that position where they're banging the chick 30 plus years younger than them. And a lot of women are mad that he's banging a chick that's younger than him when their old ass cannot compete physically with that chick. So they make, they poke fun. She looks young. Why? It's because you got wrinkles and shit now, and you probably weigh like 500 fucking pounds. She doesn't. So let's be honest. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it. But man, Shannon should have did more homework on this female, man. I know, yeah, the Punani probably is really good, but man, how could you not see the signs, bro? That this chick could have possibly set you up.
The only thing that he shouldn't have dealt with is the reputation she has. OnlyFans. I mean, come on, like you could already tell what you're getting yourself into. But
yeah,
when people have a certain level of money, especially some Negroes, when they have a certain level of money, they feel like they're untouchable. They feel like they could just have whoever they want and they could do whatever. That's why Diddy's in the trouble he's in. He got to a point in his mind where he started believing his own delusion, and to the point where he thought that he could be on camera beating the shit out of Cassie and there would be no consequences for that. You really have to believe your fucking delusion to think that you are that powerful to do some fucked up shit like that and think that there's not going to be no consequences for your action. Like people start believing in their own tea, they start believing in their own Kool-Aid, and then they start doing certain things that are counterproductive, and then they wonder why they get in trouble. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble for that. So I think that's really what it boils down to, is that more so than anything else. But I'm just happy, man, that the Timberwolves beat the Lakers. I'm happy that Anthony Edwards restored, because that's what he did by beating LeBron, and that's what people need to understand. He restored the reason why the NBA has been playing this Russian roulette game of trying to push away a game that is the ultimate game in basketball. The NBA has been trying to basically retire the Michael Jordan and the Kobe Bryant game. They've been trying so hard. And it's that very game that retires LeBron James in the playoffs. You can't retire the game that has globalized the sport. And then you can't retire the game that has brought a mentality of the globalization of the sport. Jordan globalized the sport. Kobe Bryant put a mentality behind that globalization, i.e. Mamba mentality. You can't retire that shit.
You can't.
You can't.
It's too infectious.
Exactly. And then Anthony Edwards slaps you in the face with that game. Because what is that game predicated upon? Talking shit, delivering in the clutch, stepping up when it matters the most, and putting up big fucking numbers.
That's it.
Isn't that what Anthony Edwards did? He bullied LeBron James. He got in his face.
Yeah. He didn't run away from that. He didn't run away from that matchup. In fact, he was embracing it head on. You saw it when he was pushing LeBron James. He was getting physical with him.
Yeah, LeBron tries to do this thing where he think he got some weight on you. He could just push you around. Anthony Edwards pushing him right back around. This shit ain't, motherfucker, this shit is not going to be.
You know, I was like, man, I'm like, bro, they're not calling the foul on Anthony Edwards. They going along with this. That means they're ready to move on from LeBron, bro. I was like, they're not calling these. They're not, because you saw he was instigating it. He kept pushing Bron. Like every time LeBron, when the Minnesota would get back on defense, Ant was on this dude 94 feet pushing
Yeah,
him. Like, nah, bro, I'm not letting you just throw, like have your way with me. You're not gonna manhandle me. I'm letting
you
you
know
know
why the
I'm
NBA
here.
wants to do away with LeBron, right? Because all of these GMs, you have to understand why they're ready to get away from LeBron. The GMs did not like that LeBron was able to hold the NBA so hostage. He was able to bring in a son that was supposed to be undraftable into an NBA, and teams had to prepare themselves to accept that. Do you know how behind the closed doors that pisses these types of individuals off, that they have to accept a non-draftable product? Shit,
That's
in the
true.
NFL, you see what they did to Shador Sanders, which is fucked up. But that's because the NFL, unlike the NBA, they
It's a
don't
good
tuck
old boy
tail.
league.
It's a good old boy league. They don't tuck tail. They're like, we don't care what your name is. We're bigger than that. In the NBA, they tuck tail. And you
Yeah.
got to understand, these GMs were mad. There's been so many non-anonymous NBA GMs. They use the tag anonymous because they don't want the flag to come back to them. And they're saying how did we open the draft to a kid because of his dad's last name? So that, coupled with the fact that the Lakers picked Luka without letting LeBron know, their NBA is aging LeBron out, and LeBron don't even realize
Exactly.
that's what they're doing to him. Right now, they're doing it covertly, but eventually they're gonna do it blatantly, and especially with Anthony Edwards beating him, because now LeBron can't justify his cachet no more because the Denver beat him twice, and then
They
Ant
beat
beat
him
him,
back to back.
back to back, and then Ant beat him. So now they're
Exactly.
like, okay, we can't justify this guy and him being around, being old like this. He needs to go. So they're
He
gonna,
gotta
what
go.
you're gonna see is they're gonna age him out. But his narcissistic self thinks that he's not going to get aged out. He's gonna get aged out, and it's gonna be embarrassing when you see that they start saying they're gonna. When you see the Lakers start saying LeBron's on the trade block, they're going. When you see the Lakers are initiating a LeBron trade, that's gonna be the sign right there. If his ass stay too long, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna
Yeah.
initiate, like how the
I
Lakers
honestly
traded
think.
that Davis, and they didn't let LeBron or nobody know. That's what they're gonna do. They're going
I
to trade.
honestly think I honestly think that they're pondering on that because trading LeBron will acquire them to would allow them to be able to acquire draft capital again because they've
Yeah.
given up a lot of draft capital throughout those years, acquiring Anthony Davis,
Yep.
get unloading Russell Westbrook's contract. But this would be a smart move for them to seek out because there's some thirsty teams out there. They'll entertain bringing LeBron James on their rosters and give up some draft capital. Lakers could be able to rebuild around Luka going forward. It's
Yeah.
definitely an idea to ponder, man, to really think about because LeBron is 40. He's gonna be 41 next year. He showed you he don't have it in the tank anymore. So it's time to move on from him. They're probably gonna talk with him in the offseason. They're gonna ask him, man, what they're gonna bring it up. Are you thinking about moving? What if you want to go play
Yeah, they're
with
gonna
Stephen
ask.
Curry?
They're gonna ask. This is gonna be the first time LeBron is gonna be in uncharted territory, where he's now going to be asked by a team when he's basically gonna be put on a chopping block. He's never been in this scenario before, so he's gonna be basically put on a chopping block where they're gonna tell him, what do you plan on doing? Because we want to use you as trade. That right there, when you see that starts happening, that's when his superstar dumb is going to start plummeting. Because when a team
Yeah,
wants to initiate a trade on you, that's the beginning of the end for you. Because usually when your cachet is so great, the leverage is so great, the team doesn't initiate the trade. They come to you and ask you if you want to be traded. They're not going to be asking him.
exactly.
They're going to be initiating that shit.
All those games that LeBron James played in the past when free agency came, and he would hold teams hostage, not call owners, not communicate with the franchise, and let them know if he was leaving or not. He did that to Cleveland. He did that to Miami Heat. He did that to Cleveland multiple times. And he did that to Pat Riley in the Miami Heat. Now the table is going to be turned on him. Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams, they said something I didn't agree with yesterday. I was watching their show, and Stephen A. Smith said that LeBron should be allowed to leave on his terms. No, Stephen A. Smith, not when you overstayed your welcome.
Yep.
When you overstay your welcome, you cannot leave on your terms, buddy.
You can't leave on your terms. We agree with
that. You can't
that.
leave on your terms. You need to be forced out.
You need to be forced out. Shit,
That's
they was trying to force Kobe out.
Yeah.
So if they try to force Kobe out, and Kobe meant way more to the Lakers, why you can't force LeBron James out? What has LeBron James done that can even hold a candle to what Kobe Bryant did? Come on, man. I'm not even trying to hear this, man.
That man is a shortcut taker. He's a what you call a mercenary. You don't stay loyal to mercenary players. You get them up out of there.
Nope. You take him you take him and his son, and you say, "Get the fuck off my team."
Exactly. They got a cutthroat mentality. Mercenaries got a cutthroat mentality.
His son averaging barely 2 points a game. Fuck off my team, bro.
Exactly. And that's what a lot of these Laker fans are starting to say now. They tired of LeBron, man. They want to get rid of him now. ASAP. They wanted to get rid of him yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't like how Anthony Edwards doesn't do LeBron any favors by the shit that he's talking. Because he trolled LeBron so bad. It made Jordan and Kobe look so good when he said, I beat the best player in the world and the best player ever. Go to hell today. Like, if you got to be living under a rock, you got to be a dummy to not understand the level of sarcasm. That's why I told you, Anthony Edwards is smarter than people think that he is. To not understand how he just trolled this man. Like, he basically passed this man, like we say in Haitian Creole, he passed him like fatra, dog, like trash.
Exactly.
Like, the way he just talked about him, he talked about him like he wasn't shit. Like, it was like
LeBron got that AI over Ty Lue treatment. Well, you remember when AI walked over Ty Lue? That's the treatment he got.
Yep. You ain't lying about that. You ain't lying about that, man. Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I love the fact that Ant was the one that did it. And now Obama has to come out and be like, oh yeah, when Ant told him he was the truth, they go to justification.
Yeah, now Obama's like, damn, boy, I guess this young buck, this YN is the truth.
Yep. I know what you mean when you say that YN. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the new words they're using for the young dudes.
Yeah, the young nigga, this young nigga the truth. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Hey man, he dispatched KD and then he dispatched Bron. So now Obama got, hey man, he the truth. Now you know what that also showed? It showed in the last Olympics, they was trying to withhold Anthony Edwards from being the guy to win and be the MVP of the Olympics and really pushing up LeBron. All of this is revealing itself. Because when you got a young kid like Anthony Edwards that can go off, why your old ass trying to ball in the Olympics? The Olympics is a young man sport. The NBA is a young man sport. It's supposed to be.
We knew what it was. It was politics. They wanted LeBron, Durant, and Curry to have a good a send off because it was going to be their last Olympics. That's what it was all about. And guys were going to be frozen out. You saw how they did Jason Tatum. They didn't want him to play minutes. Anthony Edwards, he played minutes, but not enough. Other guys that should have got more minutes didn't play minutes. LeBron, Durant, and Steph got the bulk of the minutes.
Those guys are old, man. The NBA belongs to the Jason Tatums of the world, the SGAs of the world, the Ants, the Jokers. It's their league. The Wimbayanas, it's their league now. That's what people got to understand. The NBA is a young man sport. It's always going to be like that. You're always going to have that young line that's going to come in and dethrone the old line. That's what Kobe did to Jordan. That's what Jordan did to Magic. The young line is always going to put it to the new to the old line. This is what Anthony Edwards did to LeBron, but even before he did it, Aaron Gordon and Joker and them did it to LeBron. You retire the old motherfucker and send him packing and tell him get the fuck out of here. LeBron should have left. If I was on his team, I would have told him that. After he won that bubble title in 2020, I'd have, hey man, you need to fucking retire. This is the highest you're gonna be. You got your 4th title. They're talking about you in GOAT conversations. You're leaving on a note of winning. This is it. After that, everything else from here is downhill. You're gonna be playing a risk because you're not gonna know every year after that if you're gonna win or not. It's gonna be a risk. So get the fuck out. That's what I would have told him.
60 Minutes, man. That show that LeBron appeared some years ago, 60 Minutes, when he gave that interview. I knew LeBron. Well, we all knew LeBron was a narcissist, but after watching that interview, I knew he was a narcissist on a whole nother level. That dude, man, he's just an attention whore, bro. Like, he cannot see himself not being talked about or being in trends and stuff like that. He has to be mentioned. He feels that he has to be mentioned when it comes to the NBA. So it's hard for him to grasp leaving the game and people forgetting him. He doesn't want to feel that way. That's why he's staying so long.
Well, here's the thing. You're gonna stay so long. It's like you hear that reference in Dark Knight. You know, where the Joker says, you stayed. I don't know. No, it wasn't the Joker. It was Harvey Dent that said that. You stay long enough to where you become the villain. You're a hero today. And then you stay long enough to where you become the villain.
Exactly. I always like that quote when I watch that movie. When Two-Face, when he brings it up, Harvey Dent. You know, you stay too long when he's referencing Batman, and you know, as a vigilante, because since he's not a hero or villain, and he has a certain code, he does things to where he doesn't, you know, cross the line. He's not going to kill, you know, a criminal, but he is going to hurt a criminal. He's going to beat up a criminal. Something that law enforcement can't do. They can't beat up criminals to a point, you know, to where they'll get in trouble. Batman, he doesn't think like that. But people will eventually get tired of that way of thinking because, you know how people are sensitive. And they're going to get tired of the way LeBron James does things. LeBron is a shrewd businessman. As I said, he's a mercenary, bro. He's been going on teams, using up those star players he's been teaming up with. And once they can't give him that juice, he leaves them high and dry for something new, a newer star. And he don't look back. He always goes to greener pastures and doesn't look back. Doesn't feel ounce of remorse.
The Lakers took that leverage away from him.
The Lakers took that leverage. They snatched it
by making a decision without consulting him. Because usually he's consulted in every decision. They made a decision without consulting him. That's the first beginning of the end for him, to let him know you don't have power like that no more.
Exactly. And you've been hearing you've been hearing how LeBron's been disrespecting the Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Rich Paul. Rich Paul is an extension of LeBron, man. So if you hear what he's saying out of his mouth, believe LeBron thinks like that as well. When he dissed Chris Bosh, they said that Miami Heat was a big tool for a certain point of time until Wade started getting them injuries, started, you know, being DNPs in games. But Chris Bosh was not a big three. He was not a big. They dissed that man.
And that's disrespecting Wade and saying DMPs again. When you look at Miami, and you know why that shit is so bullshit and malarkey and nonsense? Because when you look at the Miami Heat and you look at their plus minus ratios, all of their highest plus minus ratios is with Bosh in any one of those lineups. When you take Bosh out of those lineups, their plus minus ratios are the worst. Shit, their worst plus and minus ratio is LeBron and Wade together. So how does that work? When the stats is telling you something completely different, but then they want to run their mouths and say something completely different. Come on, man. That's when you look at
Yeah,
the stats
the
and you're like,
analytics don't match up in their favor. They trying to paint narratives.
yeah. We even talked about that for years. We were like, oh my gosh, the plus and minus with Wade and LeBron is atrocious. But when you look at the plus and minus with Bosch, with with Wade and Braun is atrocious. But when you look at the plus and minus with Bosch with anybody else, it's great. Why is that? How
Exactly.
is that happening? It's because of the pick
Bosh,
and pop.
yeah,
You and Dave used to run that pick and roll. I hated you guys for it because y'all was like y'all used to kill me with that pick and roll shit, man. That pick and roll fucks people up bad, especially when it's run with surgically accurate precision, man. It'll run it down your throat. You can
hey
run
man,
that shit down anybody's throat.
we ran it like Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, bro. That's
No, y'all ran that
that.
shit. Y'all pissed me off because y'all ran that shit like John Stockton
And
and Karl
Malone,
Malone
hey,
originated.
hey.
I ran it like the
But
originators. Y'all
hey, the reason why I say Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, them boys is winning chips. That's
yeah,
why their pick and roll, pick and pop was winning chips. Stockton and
yeah.
Malone, too bad they ran into MJ. They
Well,
wasn't they
Stockton
were
and Malone,
yeah
the only reason why they shit didn't win is because ain't nobody gonna win against Jordan.
yeah.
Let's just keep it real. But if Jordan wasn't
No,
around, them motherfuckers would have been racking up championships on everybody because they was killing the
yeah,
West with that pick and pop, man. They were killing the West with that pick and roll. That pick and roll is deadly, but Bosch took it and elevated it to the next level. He created what was called the pick and pop, not the pick and
yeah.
roll, the pick and pop.
Pick and
And that
pop.
pick and pop will fuck you up because he has the ability to shoot. He has a range that Malone don't
And
have.
that
So
automatic
Malone
mid
got to
range
roll.
jumper.
Yeah,
That automatic
Malone got to
18-foot
roll.
jumper.
Yep, Malone got to roll, but Bosch don't got to roll. Bosch can roll sometimes if he want to, but he can also pop on your ass. Like if he's tired, he
Yeah.
just want to put that J in your face. He just gonna pop on you. That's how lethal that dude was. So to sit here and say it was a big two, not understanding how Bosch was lashing up. I used to look at Joakim Noah and look at the stress. Joakim Noah grew gray hairs overnight because
Trying
he
to
had
guard Bosh, man.
Bosch. Come on, man. Kevin Garnett, who's supposedly supposed to be such this great defender, right? He goes against Bosch and Bosch lashes him up. Bosch makes Kevin Garnett look like we got to question if he's Kevin Garnett. Shit, there was times when Bosch was playing even against Tim Duncan, the great Tim. I heard Tim Duncan when they put the mic up. Tim Duncan would be like, "Shit, this is Duncan, man." Duncan was tired of getting pick and fucking pop the whole time. He
Yeah,
was tired of having to switch. That shit wears you out.
it does.
Yeah,
It
even
does.
Gasol, man. Gasol was like, man, I have the most respect. The guy that I hated playing against was Chris Bosh because Chris Bosh make you move. Power forwards don't move, but Chris Bosh makes you move. So for LeBron to make that comment, are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna act like, man, you know I hated that Miami Heat team. You know why? Because Bosh made me hate him. Because that motherfucker was dangerous. Every time he
Yeah,
had the
man.
ball in his hands, I was like, fuck.
Bosh was the safety net.
Yeah.
He was a safety net on that team. He was the one that truly made that team dangerous, man. Because like just when you think you see like a chink in Wade and LeBron's armor, that dude
He saved the
reinforces
day.
it. He
Yeah, he
saves the day.
reinforced
I'm
it.
like, damn.
Yeah, that motherfucker was a problem, man. I hated him, man. Because I was like, man, this motherfucker keeps them in games.
Yeah.
If Tim Duncan wasn't as great as he was, the only person who was greater than Bosch at that power forward position was Duncan, bro. If Tim Duncan wasn't as great as he was, even he was like, yo, I remember like Tim Duncan was mic'd up saying, man, you're a problem, man. That motherfucker's a
Yeah.
problem. He's a fucking problem. So for LeBron to say what he said, benefiting off of Chris Bosh, that's so disrespectful, man, on so many levels. You didn't even fucking show up in 2011. Chris Bosh was if you want to talk about big two, it was Wade and Bosh. Where the fuck was you at?
Exactly.
Big two. Come on, man.
Well, it was MIA, boy.
Yeah, go sit
MIA.
your ass. Big two. You no damn big two. You wasn't even there. You was non-existent. Too busy getting shut down by Lance Stevenson. You too busy getting shut down, by Sean Marion. Too busy getting shut down
Sean
by
Stevenson. He was getting called out by Jason Terry,
yeah,
called out and done up by Jason Terry. When have we seen Kobe,
and
MJ or Kobe get
even that
called out?
little motherfucker. What was the name of that little motherfucker that was shutting him down too?
JJ
I mean,
Barea.
JJ Barrera was locking you
Yeah,
up. Come on, man. I don't even want to hear this shit, bro.
bro. I don't know, man. These dudes, they downright disrespectful when they put them in the league of Kobe or MJ. It's flat out disrespectful and comical, man.
It's
Not,
disrespectful
man.
when you do that, and then it's disrespectful when you take Kobe out, and it's disrespectful when you make it Jordan and LeBron. And it's disrespectful when you try to say GOAT is interchanged between Jordan and LeBron. There's no such thing. There's Jordan, there's Kobe, and then there's everybody else. And now you got a bunch of idiots that bought into it. That's why I was laughing at Lewis Sports Network, and I made him say it 7 times over. Are you sure? Do you know the egregious shit that's coming out your mouth? Do you know the asinine shit that you're saying? Do you know the ASA 10 shit that you're saying? Do you know the ASA 11 shit that you're saying? That you're saying LeBron over Kobe. But Anthony Edwards in this playoffs proved, and Anthony Edwards can't even tie Kobe's shoes, dog. Let's be honest.
Bro, listen, man. LeBron James championships have all come on stacked rosters. Yeah. When has this dude won a championship on a team that did have a super team? Listen, Kobe won championships with dudes named Sasha Vujacic, Jordan Farmar.
Come on.
You put these guys on other teams. These guys are invisible.
Playing with these dudes.
Exactly, bro. Come on, man. People got to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? People are clueless. It's like they've been lobotomized, yo. I'm telling you, people that have been lobotomized.
And that's why I'm glad I like that Shaq and these legends are doing that, because now with LeBron constantly losing and the legends are coming back saying Kobe need to be put back into this GOAT conversation.
Exactly.
By the legends doing that and LeBron constantly losing, fans are going to start doing that again. Man, I can't wait till even LeBron fans come out. Man, we was wrong about this motherfucker, man.
It's coming. It's coming. Because LeBron is an idiot. He got no foresight. You listen, for his narrative to continue, he would have to have won another title, man. He's not winning. He's losing. He's getting bounced in the first round, bro. You are hurting your legacy, man.
No,
just like you said.
He thought the new flex and the new title was basically scoring as many points as possible. That's what he thought the new title was. Because he couldn't win another title, so he thought that was the next title.
Dog, he trying to lower the bar. That's what he's trying to do, and these dumb fans is eating it up. Yeah. But hey, people, listen. True purists of basketball fans ain't falling for that okie doke.
Because we never will. Personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. You can't stop it, man.
Yeah, man.
They try. They be trying to hinder that Jordan greatness. They be trying to hinder that Kobe greatness. Jordan's greatness is so underappreciated, undervalued. People are like, what? MJ undervalued. MJ gave you such a level of greatness that fans got so spoiled by that greatness, they don't even appreciate it no more. Because they think that level of greatness, didn't come with sacrifice. They don't think that level of greatness didn't come with night-to-night engineering. So they got spoiled. Then Kobe came out and Kobe super spoiled it. So they thought that greatness anybody could. No,
that's Kobe put in the work, man. Greatness. They put in the work to be that great.
Yeah.
And they were not shortcut takers.
That's why Reggie Miller came out and said, if Kobe is the closest thing to Michael Jordan, if something is closest to one, it should be number 2. Like, motherfuckers are starting to switch now. That's why I'm loving when Charles Barkley came out and said
Reggie Miller said some flagrant stuff when he appeared on that All the Smoke show, though, man. There was stuff. He's still bringing up Kobe and LeBron and Michael Jordan, saying that Michael was the best player. LeBron had the greatest career. I'm like, how this man had the greatest career? That makes absolutely no sense.
You gotta understand. Sometimes these guys that are players, sometimes it's the hate that they have, right?
Yeah, he
For
hate. Of
Jordan,
course,
the
I
hate
know
that
what it
they have
is.
for
It
Kobe.
is bias there.
Yeah, like when you hate somebody, because you've heard Reggie Miller say it, I love him, I hate him, and I respect him. That's his relationship with Kobe. And his relationship with Jordan is I have a love-hate relationship. So when guys come out, a lot of times their jealousy is gonna come out. Because if Reggie Miller was the one that was in Jordan's position, he'd be the one being mad as fuck about why is motherfuckers comparing LeBron to him. You see what I'm saying? So because he's not in that position, he feels, and Jordan basically lashed him up out of not winning finals. He's taking it out. He's making being personal about it. You always got to see why these guys are doing what they're doing, and then you draw a simile and a line to why they're doing the things that they're doing, and then you come to a conclusive state that, oh, this is why they're doing it, because it's coming from this place. It's like Shannon Sharpe, all those years when he was trying to put LeBron over Jordan. You know why? It's because Jordan never invited him to any of his damn parties. He never invited that freak into any of his parties. So he mad. But imagine if Jordan invited him to all those parties. Jordan the GOAT, man. Jordan the GOAT. That's where that shit come
Exactly.
from. Jordan was
Well,
kicking the
he
motherfucker
he
out.
also he also had a story about Kobe, man, and you could see the love hate relationship with Kobe, where he was saying that the summer before the Lakers and the Pacers went to that ended up in that finals. You remember it was the 2000 finals, or was it, yeah, the 2000 finals?
Yeah.
Kobe and Reggie Miller, they they uh they worked out in the summer together,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Reggie Miller showed him some moves. You
Yeah.
know, he showed him some of his moves, and when it was ironic because Kobe, we remember when Shaq got fouled out in that pivotal game, and Kobe stepped up
Mm-hmm.
and he willed the Lakers to a win. Kobe
Yeah.
used Reggie Miller's moves
Yeah. Why
to
not?
help win that game. And Reggie Miller was in awe. Like,
Yeah.
damn, if this dude is using the moves I taught him, this dude is cutthroat, dog. He
Yeah.
gonna use the moves I showed him to beat me in the finals, to stop me from winning the
Yeah. Why
championship.
not? Why
Like,
not?
he
He's a
saw,
competitor.
he's a competitor, bro. Like, it's like that was like Kobe, like, you know, like sticking that dagger in, like, bro, thank you for giving me that move. I'm gonna use it on you
Yeah, I'm gonna
to
use it on
beat you.
you.
Hey, I can see that love, because he was like, damn. They were talking about the times he had that little scuffle with Kobe and Jordan,
Yeah.
and Reggie Miller. He was like saying, damn, man, I hated those guys, and that's why I got into that scuffle with them, and stuff like that. They were, they like to talk trash. They were like the highest of highest competitors, and he was going in more on what Kobe did, that specific moment with Kobe. So you could
Yeah.
see the love-hate relationship with LeBron. And here's where it showed his bias towards LeBron. He says he's never really played against LeBron, so he never got to develop that love-hate relationship on the court. Maybe if he got to play, he had battles with LeBron, he probably would have been more unbiased, because you could tell he still thinks Jordan is the greatest player to ever play the game, but he's allowing LeBron in the same room as Jordan. That's the problem I have. He's even, and he's putting him before Kobe. That's the problem I have
But
with
they do
Reggie
this.
Miller.
You gotta understand what the media people do. They do this because they got to keep their jobs. They know by doing this, they keep their jobs. When they start speaking against the machine, it affects them. If you notice, the reason why Paul Pierce lost his job, people think it's because the video surfaced or whatever. Honestly, I think somebody turned that camera on and they just wanted to fire Paul Pierce. The reason why is because Paul Pierce is, every time he gets on a mic, Paul Pierce is always talking about Jordan and Kobe over Bron. And I embarrassed LeBron. And I made LeBron go to the Miami Heat. They got tired of hearing him say that shit on ESPN. That's what he was doing. He always talking shit. I retired LeBron. I made LeBron go to the Miami Heat. Like, they get to, you gotta understand. ESPN was pushing LeBron to be this GOAT. But they hear this guy always want to remind us that in 2010 he forced LeBron to go join. Come on, man.
He said he broke. They broke LeBron.
They broke LeBron, dog.
He said, dog, we broke him.
Man. Yeah,
he said they broke
him,
dog. That's facts. That's pure facts.
But it's true. That's exactly what he did. But they got tired of Paul Pierce. That's why I think Paul Pierce was set up so that he wouldn't be on ESPN no more. They set his ass up because they got tired of him doing that. And I believe it was LeBron's people that set him up. That's what I believe. Because they're tired of hearing Paul Pierce clown LeBron. And Paul Pierce, people think KG is like the vocal one. No, it's Paul Pierce that's the vocal one. Because every time all those guys are around Paul Pierce, they start acting like Paul Pierce. That's what they found out.
P Square is the vocal one.
Because you notice KG, when he's not around Paul Pierce, he kind of kisses ass. But when he's around Paul Pierce, he's speaking that we broke LeBron language. So Paul Pierce is the one that's really anchoring that we broke LeBron the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they got tired of Paul Pierce saying that shit.
Don't back down, man. That's why I respect about Paul Pierce.
Disrespect D Wade. That's why you know Paul Pierce is he don't give a fuck. Yeah, I have a better career than D Wade. That man don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we got to get rid of him, man. Fuck him, man. To him, all of the Miami Heat guys, he feel like he lashed them up. Because let's be honest, even when they teamed up, the Celtics was still
they had problems taking out them old dudes, man.
Yeah,
they still had problems, dog.
Yeah. And that's why they was mad at Ray Allen, because they wanted Ray Allen to stay around so they could keep giving that Heat problems, because they wanted to get revenge on the Heat. And I think they would have. I think if Ray Allen would have stayed on the Celtics, they would have beaten the Heat the next year, because that 6th game, the way that they switched, come on, man, that series could have gone either way.
Yeah, Rob, because they got better. They improved the bench. They had Jeff Green, they had Brandon Bass. They had they had better players coming off the bench. If Ray Allen would have stayed, I think they would have beat the Heat.
Stayed that next year, they would have beaten the Heat.
And Rajon Rondo became a much better player. You remember Rajon was doing his started becoming like a more independent player. They were counting on him more. He developed a better game. So I was like, man,
older. And the reason why Paul Pierce and KG are mad is because they knew if Ray Allen would have stayed, they would have beaten the Heat with that super team, and they would have now laughed and clowned at LeBron even more. You ran your ass to Miami, and we still beat you. That's what Paul Pierce wanted over LeBron. He wanted that, and he couldn't get that because Ray Allen left. That's why
Ray Allen kind of, he went for greener pastures, man. I don't. Yeah. But looking back at it, hindsight, I don't think Ray Allen should have made that move. But he had his issues with Rajon Rondo. That's what
I don't have a problem with Ray Allen going to Miami, but Ray Allen should have went a year later. Ray Allen should have went to Miami after they beat Miami, because then his services would have looked even more needable. You see what I'm saying? He would have been walking in with his head high. Yeah, we beat your ass, so now I'm joining your ass. And Paul Pierce and them wouldn't be mad, because now Paul Pierce and them would have the leverage of basically running their mouths that we beat the Heat as a big three. That's what Paul Pierce wanted. He wanted to beat LeBron and say, I ran that motherfucker to Cleveland. And then he wanted to beat LeBron in the big three so he could say, look, we beat the big three too. Like, he wanted to have full bragging rights on LeBron. And Ray Allen took that away.
Exactly.
Took that away. And that's that. You a lot of times you got to understand where beefs come from. That's where the beef is coming from. It's coming from that. They're mad. Him and KG, because
they since squashed their beef, because after Kobe passed away, that made Paul and KG reach out to Ray Allen and squash that beef, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, man,
at the end of the day, you never know when somebody's gonna go or they're not gonna go.
Yeah.
So I can understand it from that element. I can understand it from that standpoint. But man, I would have been, me and you would have been laughing if that had happened. Ray Allen stayed there and they beat that big three. Woo! I would have been holding that shit. That would have been another thing like 2011.
Listen, man, LeBron wouldn't have been. LeBron is the trajectory of his career is like night and day. Yeah. If that happens, bro, there's no way his career is where it's at if he loses to the Boston Celtics. with that big three.
Because now
on the
it's like,
Miami.
yeah, I went to Miami to beat this team, and they still fucking beat me. Like that you gotta understand how that would have been wearing on him. But here's the thing, though. You were right when you said his career is 9-day, because it is 9-day. He's won and he's lost. He's won good, but he's lost worse. So he has a 9-day career. So a guy like this cannot be put in the ranks of a Kobe or a Jordan, because when Kobe and Jordan were winning, they were winning consecutively. Jordan did 2 3-peat. Kobe did a 3-peat, a 2-peat, and almost a 3-peat. Like, these guys were winning consecutively when they won. LeBron is never consecutive. It's win, then lose, win, then lose. He had that 1-2-peat, and that 1-2-peat was kind of like the NBA had to do everything of, like you always say, stacking the decks in his favor, referring this shit up so much to his point. But outside of that, if you look at everything else, this man has lost so many times, man.
They treated Kevin Durant like a redhead stepchild, man. You remember when they constantly had that man in foul trouble in that throughout that series? I'm like, man, this series ain't so
Anthony,
there was no way
Joel Anthony was supposed to average more. Kevin Durant averaged 3 free throw attempts. Joel Anthony averaged 3.6. How the fuck? But there's a bench guy averaged 0.6 more free throw attempts than you.
This is the league leading scorer. We came to see LeBron versus KD.
Yeah.
This young OKC team versus Miami. We're not trying to see this one-sided thing where y'all have Kevin Durant on the bench in foul trouble. What's going on here?
They knew if KD went to the free throw line, KD would have been averaging 15 points. Because you got to understand, KD was already averaging 32 PBGs. The free throws would have given him another 18. He would have been averaging 50 a game. There was no way they wanted that. And that's when he was young and he had all his legs and he had all that youth and he wasn't even in his prime. That dude could easily swallow up 50, 60 points a game, no problem.
Exactly. They didn't want us to see that because they were worried. And LeBron, you remember when LeBron fouled him on that play, that controversial foul that they should have called? What was it, game 2? They didn't call it.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew, man, where they were desperate to give him that first title.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. And I'm at a point now. It's like you know, that's just the way they treat the system, and that's just how disrespectful they are. But it is what it is, man. It's a very disrespectful thing, but that's just the way it is, bro. I don't have anything else to say, man. You got anything else to say?
Yeah, I'm just happy dudes are starting to wake up now, man. Like it's a shame it took this series for them dudes to realize that LeBron's a farce, man.
No, I'm glad it's Anthony Edwards, because Anthony Edwards' game is so loud, and his persona and his charisma is so loud. He was the perfect person to introduce the end of LeBron. He's the perfect person to do that because of the way he is and his charismatic energy and the way he clowns situation, the way he trolls and the way he talks trash. He's actually the perfect athlete to retire LeBron James. I'm happy that it's him that's doing that, because he's gonna keep talking shit about this. You know him. Every time they bring it up, I ended him. I ended the best player ever. He's gonna keep being sarcastic about that. Because when he says it like that, he doesn't even think LeBron is the best player. He's been documented saying the best player ever is Michael Jordan. So he's really trolling LeBron, and that's what idiots don't realize. He's trolling him.
I like Anthony Edwards' demeanor on the court, man. He's not gonna back down. He's gonna pursue you, bro. He's not gonna run away from a challenge, and that's what it's a breath of fresh air. The NBA needs that. I want more. I want more of the players to be like that.
You know what I like about Anthony Edwards? Anthony Edwards grew up like how me and you did when it came to playing basketball. We don't back down, and we don't let nothing slide. You see that in his demeanor. That motherfucker don't let nothing slide. He just don't let nothing slide. He don't back down. He don't let nothing slide. And if you talk trash from shit, even when SGA, another player that I like, when that dude start talking trash to Anthony Edwards all up, and Anthony Edwards start going off. Anthony Edwards has an old school throwback mentality. Don't rile me up. Don't wake up the beast. Because if you wake up the beast, I'm going to expose you. That's what Jordan used to do.
Yeah.
That's what guys used to be so afraid of MJ. Don't talk shit to Jordan. You talk shit to Jordan, you're going to get, don't talk shit to Kobe. You talk shit to Kobe. Now, this is the reputation Anthony Edwards have. Don't even look his way. Don't even talk track. Because if you do, he going to get that motor going. If he get that motor going, it's over for you.
Things are going to play out the way they play out, man. But I am hoping for a war, Minnesota Timberwolves versus OKC Thunder series. If we get that, if we get those teams, Western Conference Finals, I think we're truly in for something special.
Man, if we get that, you know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get a Jordan versus a Kobe, but like a borderline version of that. For the first time in the NBA, we're just getting it through a new generation of players because those guys have similar personality. They're very cutthroat. They try to rip your heart out. They're clutch oriented. And they don't back down. Both guys have that same mentality. They don't back down. It's like one has to kill the other literally for them to beat them. So, yes, that is going to be a treat. That is definitely going to be a treat if that happens. Because to me, it's whoever has the ball in their hands last between. I respect those two guys so much that it's whoever has the ball last in their hands that's going to beat the other one.
Yeah, that's good. Both teams have their main guys, like you said. You described their mentalities on the court, but they have some nice pieces around them. Both guys have nice pieces around them. So I want to see how that series play out.
You know, I gave you credit. You know, I gave you credit on live and on wax, and I said you were right about KD. You have to say it, bro. You got to eat your crow. Well, you was clowning me with the Karl Anthony Towns and the Julius Randle, and I told you Julius Randle was that perfect fit. Come on now. Now you have to finally admit it, especially with the Lakers losing. You have to admit that.
You know what? I got to eat my crow because Randle, he's been inconsistent in the playoffs in the past, but this playoff round, he proved me wrong. You know, this dude was consistent. He was the most consistent player out there. He was more consistent. Yeah.
That GM is looking good because here's the thing with Randle. If you look at Randle's game, it's more symmetrical. I knew it was more symmetrical with Anthony Edwards. And the reason why I knew it was going to be better is because he's more consistent than Karl Anthony Towns. Plus, you can bank on the fact that Julius Randle has been taught by Kobe. And Anthony Edwards has MJ and Kobe DNA. So it's like
he played with a chip on his shoulder, man, in this series. That's what I saw from him.
Exactly. Because he had to make you guys like you a believer saying, man, that's fucked up. They downgraded getting rid of Karl Anthony Towns and getting he felt like, okay, I gotta prove something to y'all. And that's what he did. He proved it. He straight took it to LeBron James.
Well, I mean, who would they draw? They're gonna draw the winner from the Houston Golden State series. I believe Golden State's gonna win this game, and they're gonna be the team that they play because Houston.
And guess what? Has
some knuckleheads on their team.
I want Golden State. You want to know why I want Golden State? Because I want Anthony Edwards to keep being what you titled him. You better make sure you copyright that title. You better copyright that title you gave him, bro. Because that was epic what you just gave him. I want him to continue to be the legend kid. I want Stephen Curry, the other exposed fraudster in the NBA. I want Anthony Edwards to expose his ass too, so that he can add him on the resume. So it could be another legend killer that he kills. Yes, this is what I want from Anthony Edwards. I want him killing all of the legends in the NBA. And that would be funny if he did both. If he did Durant, LeBron, and Curry. Isn't it all those three guys that were trying to push on the Olympics? He eliminated all three of them. Era. That would be Anthony Edwards' way of saying, I got the last laugh, dog. That would be nice. That would be nice, boy. Yes. I want
he
Curry
did
now.
play. He played with all of them, so he know all their tendencies. That's what when you go play in the Olympics, that's how you get exposed. That's how those guys when they got around Kobe, that's how you saw the shift and all of them change. You remember Wade? I felt Wade used to be too lackadaisical. Yeah. LeBron was lackadaisical too. When they got that one-on-one experience with Kobe, there was a shift. They began to take basketball a lot more seriously after that. even Carmelo, because that's what Kobe does.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. You know now. Listen, now I'm manifesting this. I want Curry now. I want Curry because I know I want Anthony Edwards to have that W on him too. So now he's fully a legend killer. He's killing all these. That's what I want.
I mean,
man.
yeah, I believe they have a great shot to win that series because Golden State, they're thin in the front line. They're going to try to expose those weaknesses as well. But I think Golden State has better perimeter defenders. It's not going to be
smart. Anthony Edwards is smart. You know why he's smart? Because he's doing something in this playoffs he didn't do before. And I think you saw the growth in his game. He's measuring himself. He's not basically putting E on the gas tank every single game. He's only giving you the dominant games when it matters. When it's closeout games and he knows, like he knew that game 4 was the dagger game, so he dropped the 43 in game 4. The old Anthony Edwards would have tried to do that every game. He don't do that every game no more. He doesn't
now
when it matters.
Now when you got those players like Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, you gotta Naz Reid, you gotta use these guys. These guys are solid role players, man. You gotta use them.
And you wanted to see that. You wanted to see if Anthony Edwards was going to evolve into that. Now you see that the evolution in his game. He's playing smarter, not harder. He's not burning himself out. And that tells you that makes a more dangerous Anthony Edwards because that means he's going to be fresher when it matters the most.
Exactly. Because that's how MJ used to do it, where he let Scottie Pippen run the point, man. Like, you don't got to do everything on the court. It's still a team game. You can still be dominant and allow other guys to play their roles.
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Because that game 4,
you let the game come to you.
I think me and you knew the series was over when that game 4. When he dropped that 43, we knew the dagger. It was too many daggers from that game 4. We already knew the shit was over then. He daggered the fuck out of them, man.
Boy did his thing, man. You gotta give props to that boy.
That 43 was nasty though. Because I saw
they
that
couldn't
game.
Stop him, man.
LeBron was trying to push him. He was like, "Man, fuck you." He pushed LeBron. Like,
fuck
you, man.
He was not backing down, man.
You gotta take it to LeBron. You can't let LeBron, because he's LeBron. Fuck out of here with that, man. You gotta
listen, man. That you know what, demoralizing loss. You could just see it in LeBron's face after that game 4. That jump was demoralizing. That man, when he normally plays all 48 minutes, he normally comes out on top in those games. He played all 48 minutes, and it was all for nothing, for nothing. He still took that L. And you saw when he walked off the court, man, he was just in disbelief, demoralized.
Yeah. Because he's playing against a guy who doesn't back down. When you're playing against a guy who doesn't back down and has a motor that's not going to back down. This is a dude that looked at ex-President Obama in the face and said, "Hey, man, check them, dog." Like he just straight nigga checked them. This wasn't no clean professional check him. He just tapped on him. He tapped the old school president.
Listen, man.
He was like, hey, man, I'm the truth.
This is how big that this series loss was, man. I had a combo with Big Dave, Big Bro, man. Big Dave, man. He admitted it. He said that, hey, man, LeBron got a big ego, but his ego, man, has pushed him to the point, man, that he has to retire. It's time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We went back and forth, and he was like, "I know you happy about it because you've been pushing Ant." I said, "Let me tell you something, man. Ant made me so happy because Ant justified why Kobe is greater than LeBron. That's what this is all about to me. Ant revealed that if it was Kobe that played LeBron from 08 to 10, it's not even 5 games.
Kobe would have busted his ass, man.
Sweeping LeBron James, though. It's not even 5 games in them damn series. Kobe sweeping this motherfucker. Because if Ant gets this dude out of 5, Kobe is running roughshod on LeBron James, man. I don't even want to think, especially with the way that Kobe scores and how Kobe just demoralizes you with his score. Man, LeBron would have been on manic depressive medication, bro. Like it would have been fucked. To see Kobe constantly. Kobe was guarding and shutting down LeBron in a 2013 NBA All-Star game. That's not even a young Kobe. Now, if you think of an 08 to 10 Kobe, I don't even want to think about the shutdown. 94 feet.
Yeah. Kobe was relentless, bro. Kobe was relentless. He would not let LeBron have any leeway, bro. That bro would be on LeBron like white on rice, boy. You know, you ain't taking that chip from me. No, if they ever meant to a final setting, boy. People are clueless. Kobe would dominate that dude, and he would make it a point.
Took Reggie Miller's move and then use it against him and basically laughed at. That's how Kobe is. Kobe's gonna laugh at you, man. Like he gonna.
I knew Kobe was welcome in that moment, man, but it never came, man. It never came. And like, man, I got this dude. This is the dude they touted as the best player in the NBA.
And now, guess what? Anthony Edwards is the guy who gets to get the last laugh. For you see how God works? God always gets the last laugh in situations. Kobe couldn't get it, so I'm going to use another reincarnation version of this game through somebody else, because that's if we're being honest with ourselves. That's what LeBron played against. LeBron played against the Jordan Kobe game, and he came out a loser. He came out a loser against that game. A loser. And not only did he come out a loser, he came out a loser in 5. He didn't even push that game to 7. That just shows you how much more superior that game is to him. That game was able to close his ass out. And not only him, it showed you how unsuperior Luka is. Because Luka ate 5 in that shit too. They both ate 5.
Exactly.
So when people try to compare Luka with Kobe, they always try to do that disrespectful shit. Luka ain't no fucking Kobe Bryant.
Luka's not a two-way player. You know, if he's giving you 30 but giving back 30, he's not effective. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
He's not effective.
Exactly. Jordan is somewhere right now smoking a cigar, happy. He probably called Anthony Edwards because Jordan does these random calls. He called Anthony Edwards and probably told Anthony, I'm glad you exposed this motherfucker. Now, let's see if they're going to say he the GOAT next to me. I could see Jordan doing some shit like that. Yeah. And then Anthony Edwards probably, hey, big bro. You know, I had to show respect to the game, man. You know, you gave the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan's like, yeah, you good job. Now,
hey, he was calling Jordan earlier in the season on how to beat double teams.
You see. That's
what
why
did he do? What did he do to how did he approach double teams? How did he learn how to beat them? That he reached out to Jordan. He was asking Jordan how to beat double teams.
And you see his game. If you can see, you see the evolution already in his game. You see it. And here's the thing. This is how you know Stephen Curry's 3-point shit is exposed. You know Anthony Edwards is close to his 3-point marker. Curry did like what 50, 55. Anthony Edwards is at 50 now. And he's not even a 3-point shooter like that. He had 50. It's crazy in the postseason. At this stage, Curry's at 55. They're wondering if Anthony Edwards is going to break it. Anthony Edwards already at 50 by this mark. Ain't that some shit? So that even shows you that Curry's not even all that with that 3-point shit. Because a non-3-point shooter is only 5 away from you. Come on, man. What Anthony Edwards is doing, he's exposing a lot of dudes on the basketball.
I tell you what, man. Anthony's got to win chips. Stephen Curry's won chips playing the way he played.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Anthony Edwards do gotta win chips, but he get past. I'm gonna tell you right now. He get past SGA and OKC. Nobody's beating Anthony Edwards in that finals. That's the finals right there. Yeah, I think you and I know that. He gets past SGA and OKC. Nobody's beating him in the finals.
Nobody. I don't know if Boston comes out. Boston still got that team, bro.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Boston's not going to be as battle tested. That's a battle. You know how basketball is, man. When you go from a battle tested series and you go into a finals, you shell shock a team. You go in there shell shocking them. That OKC series is going to grow Anthony Edwards up a lot. So by the time he get into the finals, he's going to be super ready.
I mean, that would be a big confidence booster. I'm not gonna lie, because OKC did beat Boston twice in the regular season. So that's a team, they're deep.
And Anthony Edwards is not afraid. Anthony Edwards is not afraid of Jason Tatum. He be lashing Tatum up. He ain't afraid.
Yeah, I've seen some of it. He be talking trash to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I've seen it before.
He ain't afraid of them motherfuckers. He's not afraid of them. And Jaylen Brown's actually gonna have to work in that series because guess what? This is Julius Randle. He's gonna have to work. Randle gonna make him work. Randle is going to make that.
He wouldn't be checking. You mean
no, I'm talking about,
Jason Tatum plays the 4. Yeah, he would be checking Randle.
He'd be checking Randle, and Tatum would be getting lashed the fuck up by Randle. Lashed up. Because Randle got too much size on him. Too much. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you right now, they get past that OKC. Of course, they just got past the first round. They gotta get past the second round. They gotta get to the Western Conference. But let's just say hypothetically they get to the Western Conference and they beat SGA and the OKC. Anthony Edwards' confidence, because you got to understand who he beat. He would have beaten LeBron, then he would have beaten Curry, then he would have beaten SGA going into a finals. Do you know how many people he doesn't beat? And the namesake of the people he beat. You got to understand what that does to his psyche going into a finals like that. He going to be ready. That's a lot of battle.
That's a huge confidence booster.
That's a lot of that's what people don't realize why Kobe was so lethal in the finals. Kobe went through so many battle tested in the West. So by the time he got to the final, it was like cakewalk. When you go through so many battles in your conference, when you get to the finals, if the finals is not to that level, you go cakewalk in the finals, man. You'll be like, oh, this is easy. I already did all the heavy work. So this is easy. Now I could play with this. Anthony Edwards fuck around and win a title this year after beating LeBron, after beating the Curry, after beating the SGA, and beating the Tatum.
He becomes the face. He becomes the face.
Oh man, he
they gotta give it to him.
He becomes undisputed, bro. He becomes undisputed because it's the names that he beat. Because now people are gonna start looking at his resume from what he did last year with KD and Joker, and then what he did to all these guys this year. They're gonna be like, this dude is legit. And I know him. Once he touches that finals, he's never gonna leave. He's always gonna be there. He's the type of player, once he gets to that finals, he's never not gonna see a finals. Unless he's injured or unless he gets too old, he's the kind of talent. He gets to a finals, he gonna be living in that motherfucker. Because if you see that he asked Jordan about double teams, now he gonna be asking Jordan, okay, how do you keep winning? After he wins his first, he's gonna be seeking him. Hey, how do you keep winning? How do you get a 2-peat? How do you get a 3-peat? And Jordan gonna be giving them the advice. Yeah, because Jordan knows the struggle on how to 2-peat, 3, what the mentality you gotta have to do that. Yeah. There's a mentality.
You gotta be a diligent worker, bro. You can't let up on the work.
You cannot. But he's gonna get that advice when the time comes. And here's the thing too, and we're gonna leave on this one. That's how we was when we played on the court. You and Dave, y'all was surgeons with that 7-0 shut. I hated y'all for that shit. But all three of us were surgeons when it came to dominating. Like we dominated like nobody else, man. We applied pressure on motherfuckers. But when it came to that 7-0 shutout, woo! Now I'll admit it, man. Nobody was better than y'all two, boy. Y'all was getting motherfuckers off that court quick. Dudes were sitting there too busy trying to cross over. I remember that shit. I used to laugh. They trying to perfect their crossover. And by the time they do one crossover, they got and this is what they used to say when they used to get mad. They'd be like, man, fuck, man. I ain't even do one move and I already gotta get off the court. Ooh, that shit. Dudes want to fight because they couldn't get one shot because they got 7. Oh, that shit was funny, man.
Hey man, we used to go by the rules that them jits used to make up. So we went along with it. 7-zip shit, 7-zip shutouts. And he's like, for real, that's how y'all play. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go by that now. And he's like, okay, hey man, we trying to run these fools up out this court real quick, man. We're not playing with them.
Dudes used to be on the sidelines getting in fights because they couldn't get one jump shot off because they got 7 zips. They'd be on the sideline trying to perfect a move that they could never use because they had to immediately get on. That shit used to make me laugh, man. Like fuck, man! I didn't even get a shot. The fuck?
Hey, you better make that shot, or if we get the ball back, boy, you're not seeing that ball. You're not seeing it, bro. We trying to run y'all off the court ASAP.
Yeah, ASAP. But that 7-0 is good because you could play. If you run it right, you could play like 3 times more the games.
Yeah.
And instead of playing 5 games, you playing like 15 games, and you running motherfuckers off. You 15-0, and you can go home feeling good. You ran 15 motherfuckers off the court.
Those but all right, man.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, just looking forward to these matchups coming up, man. But we didn't really talk about them, but I know we'll talk about them in future lives. The second round matchups. You know,
the very next live is gonna be what's today? Today is Friday. Yeah, we're gonna try to get a weekend one in. We'll try to talk to Ross. We'll get a weekend one in so that way we can talk about the next matchups. All right, bro. It's been real, man. Peace.